Court will come to order. It is Monday, August the 28th, 2023, 9 o'clock in the morning, and the Kirk County Commissioners Court is now in session. If you would, please rise for the prayer and pledge. Commissioner Wilson.
You'll join in prayer. Lord, we thank you that there's evidence every day that you love us. We thank you that you've left us a guidebook. And if we read it, our lives will be orderly. We're grateful for that. We ask that you'd help us to apply those principles to this court and that you would guide our conduct here today. We ask it in the name of our Savior, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. I'm going to ask everyone to turn your phones off or the vibration to don't interrupt the proceedings.
Yeah.
And the first order of business will be public input. We may have a crowd today. I don't know how many people are going to talk to us. But if you would try to keep your remarks limited to 3 minutes or less. And we'll speak, everybody will speak from the podium. Do we have anybody for public input?
It looks like everything has been filed for items on the agenda. And if I'm wrong, somebody.
If the item is on the agenda, we ask that you wait until the agenda item is called and address it at that time. So with that, we'll move on to the Commissioner's comments. Precinct 1.
Sure looked like it was going to rain yesterday. I could smell it. Somebody got it somewhere, so God bless them if they did.
We didn't.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Well, we got a few drops and barely wet the surface, but did not. So obviously the burn ban remains in effect, actually for all the precincts. Be careful out there. The fire departments have a number of fires to respond to. And we are, of course, in drought stage 4, so we're having to scratch our heads where we get the water to fight the fires. All right, Center Point Sewer Project. Very little work has progressed. Very disappointing that we still don't have lift station H connected and powered up. Hopefully that'll happen this week. Okay, well, as some of you may be aware, we had a very successful election integrity town hall meeting on the 22nd, last Tuesday. We had Senator Bob Hall, Tina Peters, Mark Cook, Dr. Walter Dougherty, Captain Seth Keschel, Lori Gallagher, and Jarrett Woodward. And of course, we also gave a demonstration of the Chapter 65 hand count method. We had 300 people or so in attendance. And out of those, 89 new folks signed up to volunteer to hand count on election day. So that brings our total number of volunteers so far about 400. So it would make sense to try hand counting ballots on November 7th for the constitutional amendment election. The turnout's expected to be much lower than a general election and only 14 propositions to count. It'll be much easier and go a lot faster, so it represents a great opportunity to relearn hand counting without the pressure of a big presidential election. And of course, anybody who missed the event can watch it. It was recorded. Just send me an email and I'll forward you a link. Also, I did raise some questions for the Secretary of State election staff, and I got some answers on Friday, so that was good. Otherwise, just heard an awful lot of complaints, feedback from constituents about the budget and the tax increase. And, except for one, they were all pretty opposed to what we're planning to do today. So it's a quandary, but anyway, that's it for me.
3.
Just need rain, very dry. That's it.
That's it? I've done some dust out of our rain gauge out here this morning. It's like Harley, it was all around us yesterday. I was watching the radar and it's like dodgeball, we missed it. That's all I got.
I didn't see it. I think it would be,
Okay. Before we go into the consideration agenda, if you look over it, you're going to see that there are 24 timed items. And what that means, folks, is we have to take those items as close to that time as we possibly can. And so this is going to be one of those days where the agenda gets all jumbled up because we're going to have to move around and try to take care of these timed items. I just want everybody to know that. So we'll start with item 1.1, which is information and update on extreme drought conditions. Commissioner Harris.
Yeah, I wanted to put this on the agenda to bring awareness to the situation we're in, and it's dire, in my opinion. And I invited a couple people in here to talk to help give us a little awareness. One from a historical standpoint, and then I have Headwaters here to just kind of go over stage 4 again. And Aubrey Henderson, from a historical standpoint, this guy, he knows. He's born and raised here on Johnson Creek. He knows the situation over the years. He can relay the information. I don't want to steal his thunder, but anyway, who wants to start out? You guys have talked, I know. Aubrey, thank you.
We might as well get this, be brief.
I'm Aubrey Henderson. My family come here in 1857, so we've been here a while. We've seen the droughts, we've seen the floods. And Judge Kelly, before we talked about floods. So here we are again, now we're talking about the drought. But anyway, in 1930s there was a severe drought. We'll move on to 51 through 57. Jonathan knows, and we talked about that earlier. It was a severe drought, and the water at Ingram to the Guadalupe River, from Ingram to Hunt, you could walk. There were just puddles of water. We're not there yet, but we're close. Eastern Kerr County, already there. No water flowing. Centerpoint, no water. I'm hauling water at Centerpoint. So I know it's no fun hauling water. So anyway, going on further back up west into Kerr County at Mo Ranch, good friend of mine, just drilled a brand new well, $60,000. He is pulling a half a gallon in the lower Trinity, not the upper, the lower Trinity. We always thought Trinity, oh, you're in the Trinity. You have an ocean of water, you have nothing. The well drillers are now saying that the Trinity is in trouble. We are in a drought that we've never seen before. If it does not rain in 60 days by November the 1st, Jonathan, you know what I'm talking about because you live here. You know what I'm talking about. We will see things in Kerr County and all the other counties around here that are our neighbors. You will see things that you have never seen before. I have not witnessed it. I asked Jonathan a while ago, have you ever seen the water as low as it is? I have never seen it like that. Johnson Creek, where I live, still running. But in the 50s, the Guadalupe River quit running. Johnson Creek, with the big spring at Fesden, which is up by the game and fish place, that place there, the state of Texas owns that spring. That never quit running. But in the 50s, Kerr County only had 7,000 to 9,000 people. Right now, Don, I think you said the other day 53, but we don't really know. 53 to 60,000 people. Who knows? Trying to get water. And there was a saying a long time ago, Judge, when the cattle drives from South Texas to Dodge City, I'll buy you a drink of whiskey, but we'll fight over water. We don't want to get to that point. You know, we don't want to be down at the ag barn, the tankers, giving people water. So we've got to conserve now. So that's kind of just, I don't want to speak a long time because I could, but that's just the brief history of West Kerr. We are keepers of the water. There is a point at Garvin Store. The water goes to the Frio, the water goes to the South Llano, that feeds to the Llano and into Austin. The other water comes our way. So that table is, there's only so much water out there. So anyway, I think it's a big concern for Kerr County right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Aubrey, thank you for taking time out of your day.
And I'm Tom Jones with Headwaters. And for some reason, I feel younger when you said he was speaking on historical. So thank you, Albert.
Yeah.
I gave y'all, if you don't mind, a small handout that Monica had put together for us. And no matter what we show you in this, it comes down to what he said. Doesn't matter what we show you scientifically or anything else, it all comes down to the fact that they're stopping, the water's stopping to some degree. And if we don't get rain, like you said, it's going to get even worse. But this shows you on the front page some of the mitigating factors on why we declared drought stage 4, the things we include, the reason that we had a difference of opinion the way the city was operating versus what we do. Because we look at the index, the river flow, and the aquifers in a combination thereof. And Gene did an excellent job of putting together this list on the front of that page that shows all of this. We are not showing that we're gonna be getting out of this anytime soon. NOAA has a new drought map out that now classifies Kirk County in the severe categories they can create. And now it's the entire county. A week ago, it was 2/3 of the county. And it's now increased to encompass the entire county. And that's showing nothing new in sight, okay? On that front page, if you look, Gillespie's even gone to a place I'd never even considered before, and they're looking at a groundwater depletion Area 1 declared. Now, one of the first things I learned over at Headwaters is we don't use the word depletion, right? Because when you do that, it scares people. But depletion is a pretty serious word, and that's on that Ellenberg. So it's not just us, it's our entire surrounding county around us, every county, stage 4, stage 5, they're all very critical. Every one of them is praying like we are. You've got probably the most prayerful area of the state of Texas right now in the counties that surround us. And that's all we can do at this point, and do our part towards conservation. We have got to be strong on conservation right now. If we're not, we are going to be in a serious place. I think we can help prevent it if we slow things down on usage. But unless we're willing to do that, we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Are the drought stages the same everywhere? I mean,
No,
so every entity creates its own system?
pretty much, yes, sir. They're given that authority. If it's through a groundwater, they're given that authority in Chapter 36 to create their own drought contingency plan. And cities generally have their own, depending on how they are supplied their water. But it's different in everyone. Drought stage 3 in Beaumont, I noticed the other day, they declared drought stage 3, and their drought stage 3 is worse than our 4.
It would be nice if everyone would use the same system.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Just
More centralized power and also.
Yeah, and some people have a drought stage 5 and 6. We do not. We stop at 4.
Thank you. That's what I thought. Thank you.
Well, some of it has to do with how long an area, we're in a city area, we can't go as long without rain as, say, in East Texas.
Yeah.
You know, they can go longer without rain than we can. It means something to us right away.
Our problem is development. We keep growing, we keep developing, we keep drilling more wells, and we're depleting our aquifer at a much faster rate than we were 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't print the whole map on that NOAA map, but if you'll look, even that area Harley's referring to, they're in the same drought area we are. You got to remember, they're different than us. You think they got a lot of water? If they pump their water, they have subsidence, so they start sinking.
Yeah.
They literally can't do. So when they hit a drought stage, they have to shut it down.
Tom, I relayed to you and Aubrey just a minute ago, Monica a little bit ago. My wife and I took a little boat out and spent a couple hours on fishing about a month ago. We put in that ramp by the lake house. It's one thing driving over that bridge and looking down. If you pull into that boat ramp, it takes your breath away.
Yes, sir.
We fished that. It's down, I'd say 4 to 5 foot now. Where'd that water go?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, I had a lady at city council meeting last Tuesday night. She swims that lake every day, and she said she had to get somebody to pull her out with her water boot because she couldn't climb out of it with all the mud.
yeah.
It's bad. It's real bad. So, all right.
And the city's on board with y'all now as far as stage 4.
They are, yes. And briefly, that's a very unique system. They use usage against capacity as a measurement to determine their drought stage. Well, all you have to do is increase your capacity and put in 2 or 3 more pumps, and you'll never get out of the drought stage. You'll stay in the drought stage. And they don't look at availability, and that's what we look at. And,
Sure.
and so it's good. You know, I think we're going to work together fine.
Good. Thank you.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I want to say one thing. I got a call last week from the folks at Minimart, and there are people that buy their water. They fill up big tanks because they have wells that have gone dry. Aquatex has told the Minimart folks they can't sell that water that way anymore. So got on the phone, started trying to find ways to either pump water someplace or find water. Found out that the First Baptist Church over here on Washington Street will bring people big tanks of water if they don't have the means by which to move it themselves. So Fredericksburg doing the same thing. The people that have wells dry. It's city water. But they, some people can go and pick it up at the city yard here if you have a tank for it. You got a dry well. But if you don't have the means, you call them at the First Baptist Church and talk to Chad over there, and they will bring you water. So that's what it may come to, not just the First Baptist Church over here, but a whole bunch of different organizations and people and folks outside our county bringing water here if we need it. So if it's that critical for a lot of your neighbors, just consider that before you water your grass, please.
Okay. Moving on to item 1.2, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on the request from Headwaters Groundwater Conservation District to place drought awareness banners on fences at the Hill Country Youth Event Center and the Kerr County Road and Bridge Department, as well as yard signs in the courthouse lawn.
Move for approval.
Okay, I'll just sit down.
Now we want to hear from you.
Okay.
Go ahead. No doubt in my mind where it's going.
Please state your name so the public knows who you are.
Yes, sir. My name's Monica Thibodeau. I'm the Assistant General Manager. Oh, there's a camera there, got it. Monica Thibodeau, I'm the Assistant General Manager of the Headwaters Groundwater Conservation District. I know Tom has spoken about drought. I'm going to talk about the communication of it. We are requesting your assistance with some ways to get the message out there through the use of your fences at the Road and Bridge Office and the Ag Barn, as well as here in Center Stage, in the middle of Kerrville with some routes, with some yard signs. We've got Hunt ISD helping us, we've got Ingram ISD helping us. Mini-Mart has graciously offered us the use of what little grass they have to put up yard signs. It's actually kind of difficult to get them in the ground. But we did it. We're getting awareness out there. We've got it on our website, but we need all the help we can get. So we would like your assistance if it is possible.
Well, I want to second the motion and add that I'd like for them to have the corner right here that we give to people for these kinds of events.
If they have appropriate banner or signage for that.
Out here on this corner right out here.
I was thinking both sides.
Yeah.
Sure.
On
Okay.
the City Maker and Junction Highway. I'll make them as big as you'll let me.
I just comment that rode by today, there's banners across from the Ag Barn, Little League Field, and that fence blew over.
Yeah.
Or is blowing over, it's at about 45 grand per hour. So we need to be careful how big they are and how strong the posts are where the fence crews put them. I mean, there ought to be places that we could do it, but just be aware of when.
Well,
Are you having them done professionally?
Yes.
Okay.
and I know a lot of them, they'll put those U-cuts in
Yeah,
them
no,
to where
the air can go through some.
you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would sure help going on our fence.
Okay. I'll see if I
Okay.
can
Thank you.
work that in.
Oh, we did. We got a motion and a second. We need to vote. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is 1.3, consider, discuss, take appropriate action to rescind court order number 40066, approving the purchase of 2 Dodge Ram pickups for the Environmental Health and Animal Control Services Department. Reggie Gibbons.
Good morning. I got word, I guess it was last week early, that they're not taking any orders for Dodges at the time that we thought they were. So that'll be the next item, what we need to do.
Is there any, we need to take action to rescind the order?
It hasn't been in order to buy them, I guess, it's in, we're not buying them, so moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to rescind the purchase orders for the 2 Dodge Ram pickups for the Environmental Health and Animal Control Services Department. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There being none, motion carries. Item 1.4, consider, discuss, take appropriate action to ratify and confirm an open-end lease rate quote for the 2 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 pickups for the Environmental Health and Animal Services Department.
And so this is a continuation of the last item, is just you can get Chevys right now. They're a little bit cheaper. And my apologies, but I thought I had my paperwork with me, but I don't. And I don't know the exact number, but they're a little bit cheaper than the Dodges were.
I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve, to ratify and confirm, because we've already done it. This is the forgiveness part. An open-end lease rate quote for the two 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 pickups. As presented. Discussion?
In this day and age, it's harder to stick with a brand that you like.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item 1.5, consider discussing appropriate action to authorize Animal Services Director to change adoption fees to $80 for dogs and $65 for cats. Current fees are $50 for each. Reagan Gibbons.
Yeah, so this has kind of been a long conversation we've had in our advisory board, which it was pretty much unanimous, well, it was unanimous, that everybody decided that we should probably raise those fees a little bit.
What's the purpose, Ray?
Well, number one, you're looking at our voucher. Basically, this goes to, Nicole, can you come in here, please? I believe it's $5. No, sorry.
Out of the $50 adoption fee,
Broke
You
the
need to
mic.
put it on the podium.
I know you're avoiding that, but yeah.
Is it $5?
out of the $50 adoption fee that we currently have, $40 of it actually goes to the vet's offices. $35 is to help cover the cost of the sterilization, which is spaying and neutering, and then $5 goes to the rabies vaccine. $10 stays in-house at our facility. $5 of that is for the city-county registration, which is required by law. And then the other $5 is for the microchip, which is implanted at the time of the adoption.
The bottom line is, the cost of, vets aren't going to do it for $35.
Right.
So we need to raise the fee. The county's not getting any more money. It's going to the vets to get spay and neuter, and still it's a bargain based on what local vets are charging for spay and neuter. So it's a good deal.
Hopefully help a little bit.
Yeah. So
It's a good opportunity to say everything's going up. Everything.
This is also a little more in line too with what other counties are doing as well. We were lower than most definitely.
I'm going for approval.
Second.
Only question I have, Reagan.
Yes.
Do we do this for every one of these dogs and cats, or do we wait until somebody has said, I want them?
No, this is whenever somebody adopts them.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the change in adoption fees as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is 1.6. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding the Alara created monthly maintenance fee for expenses related to the maintenance of Kerr County websites. Mr. Harris.
Yeah, I was gonna have Clint Marsh come in and speak to this, but, is Bruce here? Yeah. Bruce, you wanna step up? Bruce and I corresponded on this, last week, and I think Clint originally thought it would cost $350 to $400 a month maintenance fee, and he said it's gonna be about $300 now. Part of that savings is because we have full-time Lisa Walter working, doing a lot of the stuff, taking that on since she's come full-time from part-time, and so that's a savings there. And Bruce, you got a place
Yes.
for that?
We'll find a place to put it.
Okay, so I move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve, what's the new fee, $300?
$300.
The new maintenance fee with Alara created as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. It's not quite 9:30, so we're gonna switch over and go to item 1.32, on the last page, which is an update regarding Hill Country Regional Public Defender's Office. Commissioner Letts.
I just wanted to update everybody that I've been talking with Vanessa over there. The public defender office has signed a lease with a pretty large facility in Bernie, and they are going to be moving the majority of their attorneys, actually all of their attorneys, out of Kerrville and some out of Medina to Vernon. They're gonna keep their staff, their clerical and investigators, that staff here, and they're gonna keep a couple of offices, because the attorneys will be using the facility, but they're not in a full-time office. Or some of them, I think there's 3 of them, they're part-time here, part-time in Vernon. And the reason for it is primarily they've had a very hard time keeping young attorneys. Most of them want to live in the Rim area, so they feel that it's probably more efficient for them to locate in Bernie rather than have larger offices, both Hondo or here. And the other thing is that those that don't know, John Bull has resigned as the chief. For basically he needs to handle some family business, and the PDO is in the process of putting out for interviews and going through the process of hiring a new chief.
Who's in charge right now?
Carly. Well, Bull is now, he's still here. Carly, the assistant.
We're not gonna have an interim.
I think Carly, who's in, will be the interim. She's the number 2 right now. She'll fill in. They're not going to bring in an interim now. The office space that they're going to keep at the PDO, they want to move down to the first floor on when you walk in the doors on the right side. I said no. I think they need to stay on the second floor on the right side. But this will give us the entire first floor and half of the second floor to use for growth and expansion, whatever. So we'll put that on the future agenda. They're planning to move, they're gonna, I believe this moves September 2nd. So anyway, that's just update where they are.
And the only thing that I would add, that the people to be aware, the problems we've had, part of the problems we've had with the PDO has been that we don't have affordable housing in Kerr County. And we hire these lawyers and they can't find a place to live. And that's why a lot of them, we moved the office, the headquarters of the office in Medina County because it was closer to San Antonio. And now that, that's really the issue, is how expensive it is here in Kerr County. Anything else?
No, that's it. No action needed. That's kind of where they are.
Maybe we can squeeze in one more before we start the 9:30 show. 1.33, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the interlocal cooperation agreement between the counties and cities associated with Operation Lone Star for law enforcement services to include Kerr County Sheriff's Office. Captain Walter.
Yes, this is just an additional MOU under the local government code. It allows sheriff's offices and police departments to form basically a collective team so we can work hotspot areas throughout our region or our county. This is just another opportunity with sheriff's departments in Medina County, Sutton County, Gonzales County. It's just, we see hotspots as these crime related to the border moves from region to region. It just allows us to help each other out when we need to.
Are you saying that they move around based on where they find resistance? That's
Yes.
basically what it is.
So we'll do surge operations. We've done them here in this county, and it's us helping each other out.
I move for approval. Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the interlocal cooperation agreement between counties and cities associated with Operation Lone Star. As presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Item 1.34, consider, discuss, take appropriate action to approve a 2-year agreement beginning October 1, 2023 between Kerr County Sheriff's Office and Ben E. Keith Food Distributors, who is under contract to provide equipment, products, or services to Sourcewell, participating in entities that access Sourcewell's cooperative purchasing contracts. Sheriff.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the court's approval to continue to use Bennett Keith as a Sourcewell provider.
I move for approval.
Second. Got a motion and a second to approve the renewal contract with Ben E. Keith Food Distributors. Any discussion?
How much has the cost gone up in this department?
It's actually staying the same as last year. Last year was the big jump, but it's kind of staying the same.
Okay. They're pretty steady.
Food, yeah, the food.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Sheriff. Okay, 9:30 docket. .7, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on a request from residents to close Limestone Ridge from Kerrville Country Estates on Monday, April the 8th, 2024, that's the eclipse, from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a block party. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, members of the court, and thank you for your time. I'm Janet George, and this is my neighbor, David Just, and we live on Limestone Ridge. And we're just asking the court's permission to close our county road, Limestone Ridge, for that time period. It is a cul-de-sac. It's a little less than a mile long. We have 7 residents on that road who all have drives onto the road and wish to participate. And we're really doing it for safety reasons. We have concerns that the public might come up and want to park on the easements. And then we could conceivably have a problem if someone had an emergency and needed to get out of the area, or if we had any service vehicle that needed to come up. So that's why we're requesting the closure.
Well, I move for approval.
Second.
It's a cul-de-sac.
Yes.
Close it off.
Okay. We got a motion and a second. Discussion. Go ahead.
I just don't, there's not really any reason for anybody to be in there other than an emergency vehicle. And you clear the path for them.
One, I mean, to me, it's a precedent issue. I mean, every other cul-de-sac's gonna wanna do it, and who's closing it? Is the road and bridge involved in all? If we have to close the road and bridge has to go put a barricade.
Well, every time we have an eclipse, we'll have to talk about it.
I just don't think that, I think it's a bad precedent.
Is Kelly available? You want to come give your 2 cents on this? Were you listening?
Yes.
And just, Kevin's walking up there. And never mind, we don't have to do, I think we have to do a public hearing on it. No, we don't.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was thinking that
Ms.
myself.
Alva?
My biggest concern is that we'll have an influx of everybody wanting to close their road. And as far as barricades, I probably will have enough to help the sheriff's department as far as anything like that. So I just am afraid everybody's going to want to close their roads. And I understand why, but those are concerns that I have.
Well, they didn't state that in the ask. Are you folks asking for barricades from the county?
Oh, no, sir, we were planning to just put up a traffic cone and a sign, and the neighbors were on a rotation. They're gonna go down and somebody's gonna stay with it and make an explanation if somebody comes by.
We called the streets also, and they didn't have a barricade.
The what? Could you speak up?
Can you speak up, please?
Yeah, I contacted the streets and they didn't have a barricade that they could loan out anyway, so we just had to do cones and signs.
I would suggest that people are gonna do this anyway. Right. And we can decide that we don't wanna vote for it. They're gonna do it anyway.
Right.
And I would encourage you to do it anyway. Regardless of what we vote on.
I agree.
Your neighborhood.
I agree.
I'll move to
Well, I think the sheriff's going to be busy with other things anyway.
Yes.
I don't have any problem, I like that approach a lot better.
Okay, well then we can just vote against it and y'all can do what you want. How's that? It's a homemade venture anyway, so.
You can't make
Yeah.
this stuff up.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree to get materials from Road and Bridge for this, because they're gonna need them in other places. So y'all kind of
But if they're not asking
take the
for
bull
it.
by the horns.
Well, the eclipse on the 8th is gonna be manageable. The one next spring is gonna be chaos.
This
Yeah.
isn't.
So this is the big,
This is a big one.
People are gonna be everywhere anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
Whether they're successful in keeping them out is a whole different issue. That's up to
now
them.
you can put a sign out like they are, or you can sit on your porch with a shotgun, so I'd rather them put a sign out.
I'm good with the sign.
Yeah,
Do you withdraw your motion?
I would draw my motion.
Second, but I want to make clear that, everybody's listening to say this, we're talking about a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that through the streets and stuff.
That's true.
But a mile long cul-de-sac is a long cul-de-sac.
That's a long cul-de-sac.
Okay, we'll pass on that item. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all for it.
The next time item is 9:30, 1.8. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding any changes to the proposed Kerr County budget. Michelle?
Yes. On the last budget that was put toward y'all, today's budget shows estimated property taxes of $31.8 million, non-taxable revenues of $23.3 million. Total expenditures are approximately $62.7 million. Estimated expenditures over revenues are approximately $7.6 million, which basically means we are projecting to spend savings to pay for $1.5 million of road and bridge expenses, $5.6 million for an animal control facility, and $500,000 for other capital projects. The property rate is that we're looking at today, fixing to talk about, is 43 cents. And
Will you repeat that, please?
is 43 cents. And it is expected to bring in the percentage of expenditures in fund balance to 26.2%. The minimum is 25%. Expenditures being funded by the property tax increase include the animal control shelter debt, the new debt covering the IT, road and bridge equipment, and volunteer fire department boat, the sheriff's office and jail operating expenses, election year expenses, fire protection, new staff moving from step 1 to step 3, and part-time to full-time in the current budget year for vet services and the public information officer, and a 5% adjustment for all staff. Expenditures that were increased from the proposed budget talked about last time were $575,000, and that's mainly due to the lawsuit that was filed against the county. Other changes include health, dental insurance projection updates, and adding $500 back to the training budget of Constable Precinct 3. Revenues that were increased from last time, we did go in and look at the projection for sales tax revenues, and we increased it by $100,000.
Connie, do you have a new summary sheet for us?
She's coming.
Heading your way.
You ready to ask one?
Thank you, man.
One thing to think about in this is what's not listed in what the current rate pays for is the $1 million approximately in salaries and payroll-related expenditures for the road and bridge incentives and the sheriff's office incentives. And we will have to plan on those being paid for by general fund and the road and bridge fund once the ARPA funds are exhausted. And so we're looking at probably 1 to 2 more years of being able to use those funds. As stated earlier in the budget process, 1 cent of property taxes is approximately $500,000 and changes the fund balance by 1%.
So the revenue went up primarily, there's been a change with the appraisal district and the appraised property?
Thank you. Yes, this is based on the projections as of one day last week, I believe, or it could have been like the Friday of the week before, where we're at right now as far as the fair market values that are no longer under appraisal review board review.
I'll tell you, I've been hearing all kind of complaints about how much property values have gone up. I'm thinking we need to bring the appraisal district and the appraisal board in here for a bit of an education and explanation for us.
Well, the education is, they don't report to us, they
I know, but
they
we
report to
can
the state.
Yeah, the issue, I can tell you the issue, and this is, I'm sure we do, because I know It's the comptroller. That does it. And Kendall County has a lot higher increases than Kerr County, and it's across the board. And the reason was, and what happened was, the comptroller said, if you don't get your values up, we're coming in and taking over your appraisal.
Yeah, they have it other places.
And so, you know, they still may do that in Kendall County. But it's, the prejudice is between a rock and a hard place, and that's the comptroller comes in and keeps on saying, you gotta raise your rates because your values are too low. So, but I don't, you know, it's we have a strange process, and I think, Harley said it this
we
morning.
invited them to come. Sharon
Yeah.
Constantine has come, and she's been very, very forthcoming and helpful. But she answers to the comptroller.
Along what Jonathan was saying, it was, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, they came down to comptroller's office.
Yeah.
They met in the city headquarters over here, and I went, and they basically said that Texas land values are undervalued. Now, whether you believe that or not, that's their thinking, and why, not just us, it's across the state, they're pushing to get land values up.
That's why California moved here, isn't it?
Well, we got some representatives here, but they came here for the right reasons. They're refugees. So anyway, that's the push from the state to get prices. I wish it did. Their title didn't start out Kerr County Appraisal District. People think we're tied with them. We're not. They're a separate deal, and you know, that's why we've been able to
If
go
we
with
could
the,
do something, we would, but we
yeah.
can't.
That's why we've gone with the no new revenue rate the last 3 years, which is what we can do and have done. So, anyway.
Tanya, question, what tax rate is the new sheet based on?
Is 43 cents.
So that's gone up from the last time we looked at this.
Well, we'll put $500,000 in the budget in anticipation of the attorney's fees that we're paying in this Food Creek litigation. It is enormous.
But
That's one
so the
there.
reason the revenue went up almost 800,000 is because the tax rate went up.
Correct. 100,000 would have been.
It wasn't.
Okay, so their numbers didn't really change significantly, it's just because we raised our tax rate. I mean, compared to the no new revenue, now we're looking at an 18% tax increase, is that correct?
It is 17, rounded 1748. This does use just also about 7 cents of the increment rate that had been saved over the past 3 years from going with the no new revenue rate. So the way the tax code or laws read now is that we can save those rates that we do not go up to use in a future year. And you can do this for 3 years.
And that's what we did the last 3 years.
Yes,
By law, we were limited to increasing it a maximum of 3.5%.
correct.
And we banked, I think, 10.5.
I think it shows as 8.5, I believe, on the triple taxation for the increment rate. This will leave us about 1 cent for next year left over from that.
And Don, you just, for the benefit of the public, I mean, how much of this tax rate increase is associated with Proposition C and the new animal control shelter?
Well, the tax rate is, it would be the 1 cent because only the debt is what's being used to pay off the animal control facility. So the new debt was about 1 cent.
But we don't have any choice on that.
I know.
We do not. And another cent of this 7 cents was the new debt that we projected where we're moving things and gonna take out a tax anticipation notes to cover the road and bridge capital requests this year, among other stuff. So that was about another cent.
I mean, the problem we have, as I said, I mean, to me, there's room to lower it slightly, you know, not substantially, but next year is not legit. And because we go down the road, we're using ARPA funds as part of these salary increases, and at some point, the ARPA funds are gonna run out, and, that'll be.
Do we need to reconsider the salary increases? This is gonna kill a lot of people. Making it unaffordable. We were just complaining about how unaffordable housing is here, and we're making it worse. What is it?
Supply and demand. That's what happened to us. We price ourselves out of the market. We have an action item on 1.17, which is the record vote on the budget. What action is it that you're requesting that we take right now for this particular agenda item?
I believe this just calls for just the presentation. I'd have to look at the agenda item again.
It says consider discussion take corrective action, but I don't know what action we take right now. We're going to have a public hearing in just a second.
Right.
True.
So why don't we go ahead and we'll carry this and handle it with item 1.17. Which will be the record vote on the budget.
Okay.
So with that, we'll move on to item 1.9, which is a public hearing. I'm now convening a public hearing, and I have a list of 5 people at least that want to speak. I'm calling people in the order that these were received. My first person is Robert Dameron.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Robert Dameron. I live in Guadalupe Ranch Estates across the river from Moe Ranch. I thank you for opening up with prayer this morning. I hope that that is heartfelt and you all are seeking your own relationship with our Creator. Our Creator made this universe with spoken word. I think it's important that Scripture tells us if we turn from our worldly ways, that He'll hear our prayers and heal our land. That has a lot to do with rain, too. I thank you all for letting me speak. Thank you, Judge Kelly, commissioners. I'm up here to speak about the budget. My wife and I, Rev, is my wife, when we were raising our 7 daughters, I wish that I could have gone to the employer and told them, hey, I need a new truck. I need more money to pay for this and pay for that. Unfortunately, the employer would have looked at me and laughed me out of the building. I'm not saying that everything should be cut off. Sheriff Department, all for that. We need law and order. But as far as balancing our budget or our checkbook, in my family household, if one person couldn't handle the checkbook and couldn't do what we needed to get done with the money that we got in, the checkbook got handed to the other spouse. Because it's real nice to be able to, and we are your employers, you all know that. And so my position on this is no on the property taxes. The reason why is because the state legislature and Governor Abbott just passed property tax relief. What good does that do if all the counties go in and raise the appraisal rates? All it is optics. Nothing's actually being done. You're not helping us out. We're hurting, okay? My wife and I are retired. We're on a fixed income. It's not like we can say, okay, last year we got a 5% raise, this year we're gonna get a 5% raise. Who in this room in the last 2 years has got a 10% raise? Raise your hand. Nobody. So your constituents, all of you commissioners, I'll guarantee you are giving you the same spoken word that you're getting from me right now. Tax relief does nothing is if you get tax relief here and then somebody over here raises values of properties and all of a sudden we're not getting any tax relief at all. It's all talk. And so I pray for you all, each one of you commissioners, Judge Kelly, that you pray for wisdom and discernment on how to treat the constituents in one of your portions of your county, your district, your precinct. Wisdom is liberally given from our Creator. All you have to do is ask for it. And the discernment to understand what to do. I pray that you guys get that. It's important. It's really important. This is a great place to live. People are coming here because of the people are great. The county is great.
let's not screw it up. Let's do the best we can for the people of this county and think about what we're actually doing to the people in our, because we don't get pay raises like everybody else does. I wish that I could go to Social Security and say, I want another 10%. They're gonna laugh at me. So I thank you for my time that you've given me to speak, and I pray that you guys think about this and look at it and look at places where there's fat. One of the places I can bring up automatically is if we're contributing any money to the ALA Association for the library, get rid of it, okay?
I promise you.
That's, I'm just saying, that's a big deal too. I thank you for giving me the time.
Thank you.
How do you spell your last name?
How do I say it?
How do you spell it?
Dameron. Thank you.
Next is Roger Hall. I'm going to go ahead and call this person somewhere downstairs. Terry Hall.
I asked my wife, Terry, to go first. She's got a conference call coming up.
Okay.
Good morning, y'all. My name is Terry Hall. I live at 118 Independence in Ingram. And I am speaking on behalf of We the People, Liberty in Action this morning. We adamantly oppose the proposed tax increases. We can't imagine why Tarrant County, Kerrville ISD, South Lake Carroll Schools, and many others can figure out how to do a no new revenue budget that lowers taxes to actually bring tax relief, yet Kerr County doesn't seem capable of doing the same. Families are hurting. Inflation is at 8%, some estimate even higher. Housing costs are through the roof, as we just discussed, high interest rates, massive consumer debt, food and gas prices exploding with no end in sight. And incomes are not keeping pace with all that. We don't have more to give. So to pour salt on an already gaping wound, homeowners then experience double-digit appraisal increases this year. That's a big difference from last year. Double-digit increases this year. And this time, and now's the time you're choosing to gouge Kerr County residents with yet higher taxes, mostly for salary increases for a second year in a row. That's just, I don't have words for it. According to data analyzed by the Texas Tribune, Texans pay some of the highest property taxes in the nation. And you, with these local decisions, it's real easy to blame the legislature, and trust me, I have done 20 years of giving some licks to the legislature on property tax relief in Texas. So this, you can't just keep playing the blame game and pointing fingers back and forth. You have a responsibility for our local county. And the decisions you're responsible for making right now are increasing the cost of entry-level housing for our young people and for young workers. And yet, what are we going to do to solve that problem? You just keep doing this on autopilot, just let all the appraisals get out of control, and then you're going to come in and ask us for more money for low-income housing subsidies like they're trying to do over in Fredericksburg. This is the MO of government. We see where this is going, we're not stupid, and we don't want it here. Then, property tax relief is at such a feverish pitch, like this other gentleman so eloquently shared, politically speaking, that Governor Abbott made it one of his top priorities during his re-election campaign for the session. And he revealed one of my top goals this coming session is to reduce property taxes substantially. And that will reduce the cost of doing business and reduce the cost of living. The property tax burden is directly tied to cost of living, and hence our standard of living. We're not only getting not getting substantial relief from the legislature, we're not getting it locally now either. Yet here you are, all of you with your own property taxes frozen, asking the rest of us to increase ours.
Not frozen.
All right. Well, but you're over 65 in the sense that your tax rate is.
That's my decision, and I did not freeze my taxes.
I understand.
Just because I could, because of exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
The young people.
That's right.
And everybody that does that, I'm against it. I don't agree with it, and I'm not going to be a participant.
I appreciate that very much. But to vote yourself a second pay raise in as many years is just an outrage, and frankly, y'all should be ashamed of it. And that is not what we elected an all-Republican county commissioners court to do, to increase our taxes, especially now in the Bidenomic train wreck. Outside of public safety and roads, every other job and line item in the budget should be subject to scrutiny and cuts. You cannot adopt this as is. The GOP platform calls for reducing spending in order to give tax relief. Plank number 75, it says it clear. We believe in the principles of constitutionally limited government based on federalist principles. To this end, we encourage our elected officials at all levels of government, that includes our local government, to reverse the current trend of expanding government and growing tax and debt burdens that we place on we the people. Government spending is out of control and action is needed to reduce spending and therefore taxation at all levels. Plank number 91 and 92 also say that replacing the property tax system, it should be our goal. So in other words, we should be eliminating it, not raising it. So we ask you to get a no new revenue budget, please.
Thank you. Mr. Hall.
I'm Roger Hall. I live at 118 Independence Lane in Ingram. I'm very upset about this budget and proposed tax increase. I'm a hardworking father of 10 children with 6 still at home. We homeschool them all, saving taxpayers over $1.3 million in taxes, educating my own children, K through 12. I represent many small business owners who cannot be here today. Many barely survived COVID, and like me, are struggling to survive the Biden economic disaster. I'm appalled at the very concept of across-the-board pay increase for a second year in a row for simply showing up to do a government job. In every other sphere outside of government, an employee has to earn a raise and undergo an actual performance review. I can't think of any business that just hands out across-the-board pay raises in a down economy. None that do that would keep their doors open very long. This is our only first opportunity to even speak about these proposed tax hikes. And I'm having to take valuable time and money away from running my own business to get myself down here to protest yet more tax hikes to pay for government I cannot afford. I want you all to hear me. I cannot afford to cut anything more from my household budget so you all can vote to yourselves a pay raise. We're struggling to keep food on the table and shoes on my kids' feet. Working families are having to make gut-wrenching decisions about which necessity to cut in order to keep gas in the car and food on the table. Inflation is out of control. Gas prices are soaring. Every bill has exploded, especially to hang on to any type of insurance. And the biggest hit we're taking is in food. You can't imagine our food budget with a household of 8, including 2 teenage boys. Many prices have not just gone up, they've doubled, tripled, just for basics. There aren't words to describe the outrage of the idea that I'm being forced to pay for other people to live better than I can afford to provide for my own family. Other than public safety and roads, every other county department employee is subject to the same cuts I have had to make to keep the lights on. Much of this has been brought on us by the bond debt taken on by the pet shelter, which I didn't support, and that citizens stood here and asked you not to bother even putting on the ballot. You all chose to do that, especially during Biden's horrible economy. You did it anyway, and here we are, putting animals above people. It's offensive, and you need to scrap this budget, dig deep to find the cuts to get to a no new revenue budget. It's completely unsustainable to have property taxes double every 10 years. What good would it do to have our family out in the street? We serve our community as volunteers in 4-H, Trail Life, American Heritage Girls, our church, and serve multiple other nonprofits. We love this community and love calling this place our home. We cannot afford one more penny for bigger government at the risk of hurting our own family. Do not approve anything but a no new revenue budget. Thank you.
Alicia Bell.
Alicia Bell, I live in precinct 1. Not sure what I'm going to say here, but yeah, you need to go through the budget, every single line. Maybe you need to cut stuff that you should not even be doing. How many times we have governments doing stuff that they have no business doing? Cut those budgets. Cut those. We don't need them. How many people are in jobs that maybe are doing those things that we shouldn't even be doing in the first place? Cut those. And what happens when people say, when you can vote yourself a raise, you're going to always vote yourself a raise, right?
maybe some people need to get a part-time job as a second form of income. Do not raise the budget, and I agree with Roger, just scrap the budget and start line by line and cut out what's not necessary.
Greg Rising?
Greg Rising, 116 Nimitz Drive, a California refugee.
Welcome to freedom.
That's what we came for. I didn't expect to be doing this. I expected to come here, escape the California politics, and relax. Well, I don't get to. Have to put my 2 cents worth in. We're talking about the tax rate and the budget and all that. I just want to mention the integrity, election integrity issue that we attended the workshop.
We can't talk about that on this agenda item.
Wrong agenda item?
Wrong agenda item.
I mentioned on my form elections. Maybe that got overlooked.
Well, we don't have it on the agenda, is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
We got one more.
Ma'am?
We got a couple more.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what happened to our sheet. As we signed up.
I have tax increase, maybe it's these two, or 1.18, but it's up to you, Judge.
Please identify yourself.
I'm Connie Holcomb, and I live at 50 Riverfront Drive South in Kerrville. Today, I would like to discuss the budgets and the money that is proposed to operate different facilities in the county. After looking over the agenda for today, the court will be deciding on items that could be bumped for the county, fees that will be raised, additional expenses that will be needed to keep our roads safe and drive on, and raising salaries to the employees of the county, just to name a few of the items that will result in an increase in the neighborhood of 16%, and we're now saying something about 18%. I know the importance of these items, but I also know the importance of keeping things in proper perspective. We are expecting to keep our spending in line with what we have in our family budget. The COLA increase this year for the population of Kerr County that are on Social Security will be about 3 to 4%. The average increase for those in the businesses of education is 2 to 4%. I understand the increase in Kerr County employees is somewhere between 4 and 5%. Gas prices have gone up over 22.5% in the last year and are still on the rise. Food prices have gone up over 11% in the last year. I am concerned that there will be members of our community, if this tax rate goes into effect, that will have to make the decision between either buying food or medications with the money that they have remaining, because they have to pay higher taxes and appraisals. I know a lot of this is not what the county wants to hear, but the fact of the matter is the county cannot continue to raise taxes in order to keep up with the inflation rate of this country. This county, business owners, and everyone that has employees and business expenses need to stay within their budgets to do as we as homeowners and families do. But we cannot raise taxes to supplement our salaries and income. We have to live within our means. The truth is, we cannot afford everything we want. I would propose that the commissioners take a hard look at what is important, what is fluff. Because if you raise taxes above the means of the taxpayers, they will not be able to pay their taxes and sustain life. Something will have to give. Thank you for your attention. God bless you in your endeavor to make things right.
Thank you. And then, Ms. Rising, would you like to speak?
Yes, my name is Kathy Rising. I live at 116 Nimitz Drive in Kerrville. We moved here 3 years ago. Like my husband said, we escaped California. And we're very happy to be here, by the way. And no, we didn't bring all the junk with us. Because people worry about that. And I always get asked. Okay. But regarding this tax increase, 16%, now I'm hearing it possibly 18%. That's incredibly high. We talk about high taxes in California. They weren't that high. I paid half the property tax in California that I pay here. Now, one of the reasons for that is, I believe it was in 1978, we passed, Howard Jarvis, I think he's gone now, but, and a couple other people got a proposition, Prop 13. And you might want to pull it up and take a look at it. And that made a huge difference for people. What was happening before Prop 13 was passed, as people were, you know, they had modest homes. There's a lot of older homes in the older parts of San Diego County, which is where we're from. It was to the point where a lot of people could not afford to stay in their homes anymore because the values were going up. And yes, values of property in California are higher than here, but this is kind of going up. But what it did is it rolled back. It was always, your property taxes were based on the value of your property when you bought it, and it was only allowed to go up a very small increment, like 0.25%, each year thereafter. So, for example, we bought our home, the last home we lived in for 28 years, bought it in 92, and it was kind of a downtime in property. So that's why our property tax was half of what it is here. And okay, can I afford to pay it? Yes. Now I know you don't have state income tax, and California has state income tax, but so you get a little break there. But this is going up really high, and a concern, and I feel a very valid concern I have is there are a lot of people that are not going to be able to afford these taxes. And what you're going to see is you're going to see the state owning a lot of this property. In California, I believe it's 5 years. If you don't pay your property taxes in 5 years, the state takes it. Plain and simple. They don't provide you with any housing. You're just done. You better figure it out yourself. And you don't want to see those things happening. It's not right. We have some rental properties, and I'm concerned about my tenants. I think about them because, you know, they're hardworking. They don't have the upper level jobs, and they can't afford all this. So, anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rice. Anyone else wish to address the court at this public meeting? Okay, then I will adjourn the public meeting and we'll move on to item 1.10, which is timed item at 9:45. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to adopt the elected official salaries. Mr. Hernandez.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. This is to present the change that was done for the treasurer to include what was voted on before.
Rosen, before you go too far, I'd like you to take the 5% off my salary. I've heard from our constituents, I can't justify it.
Okay, so what I'll do
You can
is
adjust mine.
I will send you a affidavit
Yep.
for you to sign before we can put in the file.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the elected official salary schedule as presented. Any discussion?
This thing about the treasurer's office, it's all been adjusted so that if there's any changes in that department, the money follows it. That's what you were talking about. You didn't really explain it.
Right, that is what it is about.
What about agenda item 1.16? It looks like we're still going to be talking about other salaries, so is that factored in, or what are we doing here?
The 1.6 is that's the district court orders.
And that part,
We have to,
this is just
we do these in bite-sized pieces.
Okay.
Just elected.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
And abstained?
No, I said aye.
4-1. Item 1. Thank you. Item 4, 1.11, Consider, discuss, take appropriate action on the request from appointed and elected officials to appoint clerks and assistants for their offices pursuant to local government code. We do this every year. Bob's office has submitted recommendations, Kathy submitted her request. They have to be approved by the board.
I move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve, allowing the appointed and elected officials to appoint the clerks and assistants.
The only one I had a question on was Bob's. He had, I don't have it here in front of me. It was either 10 or 8. So I just wanted clarification on your statement on some of your clerks, I think. I'll pull it up here.
I believe I listed 10 and I submitted a corrected one, that there was 8 clerks and 2 senior clerks. So I didn't get it properly changed. I don't have the copy that I submitted to Jody with me.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, you said 10 clerks, but in brackets you put 8. So I
It
just
should
wanted
be
clarification.
eight clerks,
So
2.
it's 8.
If that one has 2
Well, that's
senior
above.
clerks.
I mean, that's already there. Just wanted to correct that one line.
There.
No problem.
Okay, any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.12, which is also a timed item. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the FY 2023-24 Kerr County wage adjustment. Mr. Donovan.
This is in regards to the FY 23-24 Kerr County wage adjustment of 5%. It is reflected in the position schedule as well as the grade for staff.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the wage adjustment as presented. Any discussion?
Well, I'm just going to say, I tried during the workshops to suggest a lower adjustment of 3%, something I could support the pilot.
So you support law enforcement getting 20%?
That I do. Yes, sir.
And on the bridge?
The 10%.
I can't treat certain employees, I support the law enforcement getting
Well, those are market
road bridge.
corrections, you know.
But they're also getting a 5% on top of it.
Well,
So,
and what I'm suggesting is they should.
Here's what's been talked around today. What we've talked about is the inflation that's going on and how difficult it is for us all to make our ends meet. That includes county employees. And recruitment and retention is what we're up against right now. If we can't pay these folks that work for the county, and when you bolster and give a pay increase to the sheriff's department employees, the support staff that goes along with that, you guys don't think about it. You see the guy out there in the cruiser, and you see the gal that's making the arrest, but you don't see all the other people that do the paperwork, all the way upstairs, the court, the clerk, everybody else, all that support staff must be in place, and you have to have them. If you get short of those, and you get a backlog of all kinds of things and problems. So there's a lot of paperwork. Every time they make an arrest, there's paperwork. Somebody has to go to court over that. So that is part of this. It's included that you have to have it. So yes, we have enough staff to drive around and make sure we're all safe. Do you have the staff to make sure that the paperwork is done and that these people are prosecuted? Do we have the staff for that? Do we have the staff for the jail? All of these things go together like hand in glove. You can't raise one and expect that everybody else is going to be happy. These guys got a big raise over here. You're going to have attrition. You have that anyway. So if we can't pay the same kind of salary that they pay in Gillespie County, Kendall County, Bexar County, people are just going to leave. Now where are we? Now we're trying to recruit at the same pay scale that we already had. The reason that we lost those people. So I understand exactly what you guys are talking about. And as far as the faith part of it, God has always provided for me, regardless of how expensive gas was.
Don't you need to cut somewhere else though?
You can cut wherever you want. I remember hearing a preacher many years ago saying, gas just went to 50 cents a gallon. But God provided for me when it was 19 cents a gallon. And I remember that because I thought, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. I don't like it any more than any one of you. But I've always survived, God's always provided. So that's my sermon at. But what I want to say about the judge pointed it out earlier, that we're mixing the appraisal district with the county. We're separate entities. What they do with appraisals, we have no control over. We can't call them up and say, cut it out. And as Commissioner Letts mentioned, if they don't do it right, the comptroller's office comes down on them.
Why is it even on the agenda then?
Please don't interrupt.
We don't change we set the rate. And that's where we come in. We set the tax rate. But the appraisals is up to the appraisal district, all right?
Now we're getting off topic.
Well,
We need to get back to the
but I want everybody to understand, no, we're not really, because it's been brought up repeatedly, and we're mixing apples and oranges here. So the folks that staff this place, and not just here, but the West Kerr Annex and all the rest of it, they have to buy groceries and gas just like the rest of us. And if we don't pay them right, they're gonna leave. They're gonna leave. We've already lost a lot of them. So if they'll pay them more down the road, and you know what? I talked to a guy at the grocery store this weekend, tried to encourage him to come to the road and bridge. He's old enough, he gets it. He understands that benefits mean something. You take these young guys in their 20s and 30s, they don't care about the benefits we have here. That's been one of our ways to entice employees here. A lot of people couldn't care less about that now, especially the young ones. We have good benefits here. We don't have as good a pay as the surrounding counties. We have now given a pay raise with ARPA funds for law enforcement. That's good for now. That's not going to be good in 2 or 3 years. We've got to also try to ramp up and keep those salaries steady. And then if we continue to have inflation, we'll have to raise them again. So it's the same for all of us. There are reasons why we have to do the things we're doing. You mentioned animal control. We must, by law, have animal control here. We don't necessarily have to have a new facility. Right. You know, inspectors come in and look at our animal control facility, and they say it's subpar, and now we're going to keep patching it forever, like they have been, and have inspectors come back and say, you didn't do it right, or we're going to build a facility and just move on. So we put that to the voters. We didn't just decide to do it. So there's a lot of these things that are interconnected that maybe you don't see and understand. We've gone over this budget repeatedly. I suggested, to the shudder of most of the department heads in here, they look like somebody stuck them in the butt with a pin, and I said you ought to clean your staff out. So there may be people you have in your staff that's not absolutely essential. I don't think anybody got fired over that, but I did suggest it. So at least everyone's looked at it. Everybody does the same thing. We all try to figure out what can we take out of our budget. We have looked at it, repeat, and it's a huge shock to have a 17.5% increase. I'm with you. I pay taxes. I have not taken the tax freeze. Part of the problem in this county is so many people have taken the tax freeze. That's part of the problem right there.
That's up to this.
I'm not part of that problem, just for my part of it. I didn't take the pay increase the whole time I've been up here. But that doesn't help cover anything in the budget. It eases my conscience, it doesn't help you.
Harley,
So everybody sitting here that has taken the tax break, the tax freeze, how many of you want to confess to that? So that's part of the problem too. There's enough blame to go around. I'm just saying, we are with you. We're not, it's not us and them. We're part of this community.
Commercial.
Well, look, I've heard everybody else talk about it, and I'm trying to clear the air here.
and you did a good job, and I'm just gonna add a little bit, not as lengthy, but I saw a Facebook post of a local group that I agree with 95 or more % of the time, and they said if the county employees don't like what they're making, they should go someplace else. Well, I know a lot of small business people out there that say when they lose an employee, and hire somebody else, they have to retrain. They've lost a lot when they lose people with years of experience, and that's our position. It's recruitment and retention. We want to keep these people. We don't want to have to keep retraining. I came from the education world, and the last 3 or 4 years I was there, I was steadily having to hire a new person fresh out of college and retrain them, and then they go off for more money. And then I'd have to start all over the next year. The students suffer. The students are the ones that suffer. So that's what, into my
I'm just gonna make one last comment, because, look, I'm new to government, never done this before. Got a lot of experience in the private sector, and what I'm used to is, you do a market survey, you address problems. If you're losing people, and we've lost a lot of people in Road and Bridge and in the sheriff's department, then we have to correct those salaries to retain people. So I'm all for what we've already discussed and put in the budget for Road and Bridge and the sheriff's office in terms of those corrections. But, the fact is, we're not losing people anywhere else. And that's all I'm gonna say.
You did an excellent summary, Commissioner.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. And I think that your point on law enforcement just isn't the officers. It goes to the other staff. It goes to the county attorney's office. It goes to the district clerk's office. It goes to the county clerk's office. It goes to the probation department, both adult and juvenile. So, I mean, if you're going to be for law enforcement, you're for a whole lot more than just the deputies that are out on the street. Because it is all very interrelated, and the point you made is excellent.
Any other discussion?
May I say something, please? I just want to say.
Will you go to the podium, please?
This is the first kind of
Please
meeting.
identify yourself.
I'm Lydia Ewell. I live at 209 Skyview Drive in Kerrville. My husband is a local pastor, and I've never come to any of these meetings because I try to focus on another kingdom. But as a public servant, and I get this because that's what my husband and I are, we're public servants in a sense, right? There's a lot in the scripture about the shepherds of the people doing well off of the backs of their sheep, okay? And that's all I want to say. I understand. Look, my heart goes out. I understand. It's tight for everybody. But these economic times, I mean, is it right for people who are doing a desk job to expect the same kind of compensation for somebody who's on the streets facing the danger of the border crossings, all of the other things? I do think there is a difference. I understand that we don't want to have bad feelings and have it be equitable, and I totally understand all the red tape and that we have to have clerks and we have to have people, the administrators. But I'm just saying the spirit of the thing is this the right time? We are all hurting. Everybody is hurting. And it seems like those that are in the position of public servants ought to be able to listen and say, well, maybe we delay this. Maybe we're not saying no, never, but maybe this is not the right time for that. And that's what I'm just asking, because I do a lot of things for free. My husband, we have one income, but that time that I have, I'm homeschooling my own children. I'm saving taxes for that way. But I'm not only doing that, I offer free classes to other homeschooling families so that their wives can stay at home and help homeschool too, and they're not having to pay me to teach their kids. If something like this happens, my husband and I aren't going to be able to afford to pay the taxes on our property. We might have to move and leave this community, and other people might be the same way. And so you're talking about attrition, trying to keep people here for that side, but what about the people who are supporting them and who are doing it in countless little ways that never get paid, right? That never even get recognized, and we take that somewhere else. I'm not wanting to do that. I love this community. But that's all I'm going to ask, and I just would ask you to please reconsider. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Clay?
Clay Lambert, 673 Town Creek Road, Kerrville. I'll be very brief. Very much support the increase for road and bridge for the sheriff's department. Before I form an opinion on something, I like to be well informed in all the facts. So I do have a question, which is with regard to the other folks that you're proposing a 5% increase to. Do you have a significant attrition problem within that group? And has there been a study done to find out if their salaries are way out of whack with other surrounding counties?
We did do a salary study a couple years ago.
Year before last.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has been taken into consideration. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, we're back to, this is item 1.12, which is a motion to approve the wage adjustment as presented. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Let's take a break. We'll come back at 10:35, and we will have a lunch break. We're not going to go 1:30. We'll come back to order. Still on time items for 9:45. Next item is 1.13, consider, discuss, take appropriate action to approve the grade and step schedule. Mr. Hernandez.
Should be one for each of them, is that? So what you have before you is going to be the position schedule. It's really, really small because there's so many steps to incorporate these additional steps for the Sheriff's Department. So we went up to step 30. And like I said, you might need a magnifying glass for this. But it does have the 5% increase in this.
And basically, all of this is reflected in the budget.
Yes.
Yes.
We've got to figure out a way to simplify this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Or to be able to just read this. That's so tiny, I can't. You gave me a magnifying glass.
What has happened up is it throws out a lot on this. One of the things is that we used to limit the number of steps that went out. And when the sheriff, to make it work, they had to bump that, say 20% is basically four steps. Then you gotta bump everything out 4 steps because of longevity. People are out here, you know. So it's
A ripple effect.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect, exactly.
Yeah, it was 8 steps for the long.
So you have to start increasing the number of steps all the way out because we increase it. The options for next year that need to be looked at, in my opinion, is maybe putting the sheriff's department on a separate schedule. And maybe maybe road bridge on a separate schedule. I mean, I think we just have to look at it, but it's, that may make it worse, I don't know. Auditor says yes, it makes it worse that way. I know a lot of counties do have the sheriff anyway on a separate schedule. But to me, we've gotten so complicated with our step and grade that it sure would be nice to, I don't think it's hard to understand. That's bad government.
And in the past, it has been to where the sheriff's department was on their own grade and step, and then everybody else had different grade and step as well.
But anyway, I think that's a topic for another time. But I'll make a motion that we approve the second grade as presented for this year.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the step and grade schedule as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.14, consider, discuss, take appropriate action to adopt the position schedule.
Okay, so along with that, I gave you guys a position schedule that shows everyone's position on there.
That's this one, right?
Yes. That's the one you can read.
So is this based on the new proposed salaries?
Yes.
You probably didn't know it, but this is the positions schedule that's attached to the end of the budget.
So this has the 5% built into it,
That is
plus
correct.
the 10 and 20% for the.
That is correct.
Is Senate Bill 22?
That is correct.
Yeah. Senate Bill 22 is in there. Or 20, yeah, it's 22, isn't it?
Yes.
How many employees do we have right now?
The last count, well, it kind of fluctuates. This is a live document. The last count that I had, it was with the 2 week prior to today, it was 321.
321.
Is that positions or employed?
Actual people.
Positions would be,
Probably closer to 350, I bet.
Right.
Or maybe more. I make a motion to approve the position schedule.
Position schedule.
I do have a question later on. We're approving some salaries that are in here.
I have reservations myself.
The, the question I have is the auditor salary's gone up a lot. I know that came down from the district court there.
That's the next
That's the
item.
next item. That's what our question. So, I got to ask on this because it's included here. And I cannot remember exactly how that works. I know the auditor's office works straight for the district courts, and they set the salaries, and we received a letter, this is the salaries. So pretty much that's the salaries, correct, Judge?
Right.
They tell
And I
us.
heard the county.
But may not understand that, but that's the way it works.
Yeah.
But what I see is looks like $25,000 to $30,000 increase. Boom. I don't remember discussing that.
It's not discussed, it comes from the district courts.
They set the salaries of the
And
employees.
don't get me wrong, I love our auditors does a fantastic job. In fact, I've told her that.
Do you
Is
want
there a
to
reason?
call that item?
Huh?
Are you going to call that item to discuss that?
Well, we're still on salaries and this
We're on the position schedule, we're on.
Yeah. And that's a salary in the position schedule.
Yeah. I'm glad she's on our team, but
Well, okay.
Now, if they decide this,
Since that's the rate limiting step, let me go ahead and call the next agenda item so we can have a discussion.
all right,
Next item that we consider jointly with 1.14 and 1.15, which is to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept the order setting the salaries for the county auditor and assistant county auditors pursuant to the government code effective October 1, 2023.
Yeah. See,
What is that?
that's the new phone system.
Would you like me to answer that?
You're calling from upstairs.
Rejected.
Put on speakerphone.
And I would,
A little red button, yeah.
two things. One, I mean, we have an orders for the public. We have an order from signed by both district judges setting these salaries. So the salaries are what they are. It's a large increase in my opinion for the auditor. However, it's in line with what that position should get paid.
Does it come out of their budget or ours is the question.
Comes out of our budget.
Our
We
budget.
pay for it all.
So they decide what we're gonna pay.
They do.
unfunded mandate.
They do that with their employees, they do that with their court reporters, they do that with their attorneys,
We know that.
and we have no say.
Right.
The language is
And
shall.
we are required by a constitutional mandate to provide a reasonable amount of money for them to be able to conduct their office. Well,
But when we get
that's what most mandamus cases are about, is we're not giving them enough money.
But when we get a order, it's an order. That's the order.
There are, like, we use the tax salary survey that came out, I think the last one was out in 2022, and looked at it and then looked at the different websites for that salary.
I mean, and I don't need to increase them. I mean, to be honest,
How much did the assistant county auditor salaries go up?
They received raises that were more in line with the market last year. They're still under quite a bit. I lost somebody this year, making about 20,000 more.
Did their salaries just reflect the COLA?
Yes. Again, they received extra last year.
I mean, but I would say that, my knowledge of that market, the assistant auditors are probably pretty low.
Yes.
And the auditor's not out of line. It's a big increase, but it's not out of line from the
Huge increase.
Yeah, I agree, but it's
$30 grand.
But it's something that we don't have it. We've been ordered. That's what it's going to be. So that's what it's going to be.
We dug our heels in on the treasure for 10% of that.
This is the part about government that's hard for people to understand, that you have something that's mandated, or you have, for example, the judge and the county attorney get part of their income from the state. We're going to say so about that. That's the way it's set up. The state legislature did that. That's the way it runs. I don't know if they get 2 checks. I don't know if they get 1 check. It's none of my business. I just know how they get paid. So that's law. This other thing, the guys upstairs, what they think is not much money is a lot different than what I think is much money.
Yeah.
And their view of how much we spend and how easy it is to spend it is not at all in line with what I think. Or any of us, I think, on this
Well,
court.
When the judge and I came into office, that department auditor's office was in disarray. And Tanya's been a godsend for us, to tell you the truth, to right the ship. And like I said, I'm tickled that she's on our team. My God, my goodness, she does a great job. But sitting up here looking at a $30,000 raise, it's tough to swallow.
All that being said, I'll make a motion to approve the position schedule back on 14.
I'll second it.
Does everybody understand what just happened? It's out of our hands. I hate saying that because it sounds like being a weenie.
I know.
The first motion is to approve and adopt this position schedule. That's what we have before the court right now. Approving the position schedule. Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I have to be consistent and say opposed.
Motion carries.
And I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, so it's 3-1-0. 3-1-1. Okay.
Was this for 1.14 or 1.15?
This is 4.
That was 1.4. And I'll make a motion to 1.15 to set the county auditor or assistant county auditor per the order set down from the district judges.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve to accept the order of the district court for the salaries of the county auditor and assistant county auditor. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
You're telling me I can't oppose it though, right?
It's going to have to do. We could all vote against it and still happens.
So.
Well, let's all vote against it.
Let's just see how that goes.
Send a message anyway.
We've got a lawsuit for those guys.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm in the state.
Is this, okay. So we've
I'm
got
just
a
curious what would
balance
happen.
thing.
So it would just happen anyway.
Yeah.
Now it's
Well,
back.
no, they probably
They'd want to know
they
what.
probably order us.
Yeah.
To set it.
Yeah. And if we don't, then there would be a mandamus action filed to make us do it.
Well, I would have liked to see him stair stepped up a little bit.
I would disagree.
I think
I
everybody
would like
understands.
them to come and
Explain.
explain.
And again, Tanya, this is not against you, believe me. So you do a fantastic job, but
I don't mind.
But you could end up on the front page of the paper.
Let's take a vote again on 1.15 so we know what the count is. This is to accept the order from the district courts setting the salaries for the county auditor and assistant county auditor.
why don't you do a hand?
Okay, those in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? 311. Okay, item 1.6, consider discuss take appropriate action to accept the order setting the salaries for the 198th District Court Reporter and the 216th District Court Reporter. Same group.
They decide, we accept.
How much did they change? They don't show what they did.
These also followed the 5% wage adjustment, and I believe both of them are receiving COLAs this year. Or, I'm sorry, the market adjustment, the 2.5 market adjustment this year.
This is to accept it, and so I'll move that we accept it. Second.
A motion and a second to accept the order setting the salaries for the court reporters in the 198th and 216th District Courts. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.17, consider discuss take appropriate action to adopt FY 2023-2024 per county budget and take a record vote.
Judge, we can do this. I will say that I received the position schedule late on Friday afternoon, and I have not checked to see if the amount showing on the position schedule that you're looking at or what's actually in the budget. The budget was done off of estimates, and there has not been time to look at it.
So what's our drop dead date?
September 11th.
Okay.
That's drop dead date.
So if we're gonna go back into this thing and review, then we could also decide that we're gonna change something. We don't have any final numbers. So there was that possibility.
I want to take a vote today.
Do we have to republish? Do we have to do that?
Republish?
Republish the budget hearing if they don't take a vote today?
It'll have to be posted. I'm not sure about the publication. I can look.
I think we had the hearing and just a second, I've got local government code just to
We can't change it after the fact.
Well, it's been posted for today.
Right.
And published. So,
What exactly are you waiting on?
The auditor
The-
has not
the
verified that the
position
position
schedule
schedule
that we just
matches
approved.
the salaries, matches the salaries on the budget page.
Was not available for review prior to today.
Do it contingent on that being correct?
And we adopted, subject to
The
verifying
accuracy of the
schedule.
position schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, Commissioner Les, you suggested there could be a little bit we could trim out of here. Is there?
You probably could. I'm not answering your question. I'm answering one that was asked right before that. You probably could, Judge. Today, you're just required to take some action on the budget, and if that action is setting it for the next meeting, that's action. If the action is also adopting the budget contingent on the accuracy of the numbers that are included in the budget based on the salary schedule, that's also action that you're authorized to
We've
take.
already adopted,
Adopted the position schedule.
yeah.
Which,
Well,
it is what's been,
we've adopted, going back to what we adopted was, going back to, the elected officials' salaries, the appointed and elected officials' appointment, that's not, no. The wage adjustment, step and grade, the position schedule, and then the stuff from the district judges.
Just to clarify a little bit, the part that's kind of in question is the part that's going to be paid for by ARPA and by Senate Bill 22. So that's where the majority of the changes may take place at. I'm not sure if
But that's really
the way
what-
I did the estimate is the same way that she did the position schedule.
Wouldn't that be more of an allocation change rather than?
Make it fit.
You're
Total number
you're
change?
using different funds though, so you're using Fund 30, and again, mine was done off the estimate, and hers is exact.
What
We
you
can't
recommend?
change the rate though if that came out differently.
The rate of what?
What we're voting on here. On the budget and the tax rate. If that were, you're not saying that that could possibly change anything. If you have a set budget and you're saying this is how much is going to the sheriff's department coming from ARPA, then that's what you're stuck with.
Yes,
That's what
once
you're
you
saying.
pass that budget, I mean, there's rules that we can use in order to make the changes, but it won't be an emergency. We've known about it ahead of time, and so it'd be hard to make those changes. You'd be pulling it out of your non-contingent funds right now to true up all of those numbers.
So go back to county attorney, so we can,
You had to take action today, so that's what the local government code says. The action, you have to take action on following the public hearing. And that action could be to adopt the budget. You gotta do that by a record vote. And you could do that
subject to revisions that may be required due to the final position schedule that was adopted.
yes, so that the budget matches the position schedule that you adopted under, under,
114, 115.
yes.
114.
And what it's gonna do is change May, and probably will change a little bit, the changes of the ARPA funds versus the general fund.
But
Instead
if
of
that's a
22.
revision, if it's just a revision, if it's just moving money from one account to the other one, then it's legitimate. But if it's not, if it's gonna really change things, I don't wanna vote.
Minor estimates. What we've talked about so far, because the position schedule was behind, is we used estimates in order to bring y'all's numbers to y'all. And so we usually wait for the final position schedule, and at that point, we true up the numbers. That step has not been taken.
Well, we should
There
put this
shouldn't
on.
be material differences, I would not think, but I have not looked at it.
But there would be some differences. I mean, there's no chance it's gonna be exactly the same. Just because, I mean, with the odds against it being exactly.
Well, what I'm concerned about, do we know, if we put it off, what are we limiting the review to be? Rather than
It's
just
time.
opening the whole budget process back up. I'm not in favor of that.
The perimeters.
So I'm looking to the auditor, what's your recommendation?
I need time to review the position schedule in order to make sure the numbers showing on the position schedule are what's in the budget.
So that means you'd like to pass it tonight.
Whatever you wish to do. So I think there's 2 or 3 different options that y'all can do.
Are we gonna have to have
Well,
a special meeting?
I want to look at our attorney.
Let's not put the brownies on the table before they're baked, okay? Let's finish this thing up and come back and do it later.
You can do that, and that could be your action today, is just setting it
understand.
for, okay.
I understand. But I'm looking, I'm trying to get recommendations as to what we ought to do.
How long is it gonna take to reconcile the position schedule to the budget? Is that like a week, 10 days, a day?
I don't know the answer to that. We've attempted it in the past and we've changed it some, and so it just depends on how fast it goes. It's
Well,
at
it's a
least
priority.
going to be a week. I'm sorry.
It's a priority.
It has been my priority all along.
Yeah, I'm just stressing that for everybody. It is priority, so.
But it's not gonna be.
And we do it in 72 hours, that's the bottom line, right?
Well,
I can't do it in 72
Okay.
hours.
Okay.
I don't see me getting it ready before September the 11th. Again, the goal was to have it done today.
Well, I'm not happy that we're not ready.
Yeah.
And so we have to repost and republish.
I don't know that you have to republish, but you can take action today to set the vote on the final budget at a later date. That can be your
How do we
action.
get that notice to the public? We had a large turnout today.
The same way that you publish, or same way you post for all of your public meetings.
It's in the agenda.
Yes, sir.
What you want to do?
That's what I want to do.
That's what I want to do.
Okay, then the action would be to pass this item and revisit it again on September the 11th.
Someone make a motion.
Yeah, I think we ought to have a motion.
Yeah.
I think we need to also.
We've got a motion and a second.
I'll second it.
Pass the record vote on the budget until we reconcile the position schedule estimates on September 11th. That'll be the next time we take this up. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay, item 1.18, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to take a record vote on the proposed 2023 county tax rate. Mr. Reeves.
With the gentleman with the action that was just taken, that question, without further legal consultation, whether you can propose a tax rate without
I
budget.
think you're right.
Without-
Go ahead and tell us what it would be if there was no significant change. Is it the 0.43?
It would be based on what Ms. Shelton has worked so hard on to come up with at this point. But until that happens, I would question whether you can propose a rate. I would caution September 11th probably is as far as we can extend it out, because I do have publication requirements for the tax rate before adoption.
No.
But you can't get it done if it's, everything clicks on September 11th.
Gives you the time.
We will get it done, but I could describe it better if we're out at the barn and not here. But we can get it done.
Understood.
So you'd recommend that we pass this to September 11th also?
Without firm legal
I agree.
from our attorneys, no disrespect to the county attorney, but I'll probably have to go to outside if we were to do it. I'd rather wait till the budget was proposed and voted on.
Okay, now entertain a motion.
Tanya, is there, well, go ahead, we can vote, and then I'll ask.
Yeah, I know, we need that, or do we just pass?
You could just pass on them.
Yeah, I think we.
Just
I
pass.
think we need a motion.
So we'll pass on item 1.118, or 118. Then there's item 1.19, pass on that too.
Yes, sir.
Item 1.20,
Yes, sir.
121,
121, we could do that, but we could also do it at the 11th, because we'd want to do them at the same meeting.
Yeah, I agree.
So do you need it?
You ought to pass on all of them.
So on 19 is setting the public hearing.
well, 19 is to hold the public hearing, what I said, that public hearing, go back to item 1.19, which is to consider, discuss, take appropriate action to set the date and time to hold a public hearing for the 2023 tax rate for Kerr County and lateral roads.
We could do that
We need to
at
do
this
that.
time, or we can wait till the 11th. I will not be able to publish until there's something to publish. as far as what the proposed rate is. So we can do it at the next meeting and just have them all in line. Because in theory, if you were to go back to the no new revenue rate, then we don't have to hold a public hearing.
So if we come back on September the 11th, when are we gonna have a public hearing? September 11th?
No. If we came back September 11th, in order to publish, I have to have the proposed rate. I have to have the names of the people that voted for the rate, against the rate, that were absent. It's a record vote. So there's no information I can publish now. So if the proposed rate was set on 9/11, counting my days, probably the meeting of the 25th, which is absolutely the last meeting we could do it.
Yes.
And I will say, by doing that, we'll slow down the progress of getting the tax statements.
Say that again?
It takes quite a while to get everything prepared to send out the tax statements. I try to get them as close to October 1st as possible.
Right.
So it could slow it down, and just as Ms. Shelton couldn't give you an estimate on figuring that, I don't know how long it may take on the rate. But I will do everything in my power and my office will to get them as timely as possible.
And so, I want to make sure the auditor and the county attorney listen to my question. What all are we going to have to do if we put this off to September 11th? We're going to have to take action on the 25th? Because I'm not going to be here.
We need you to be here. Well, we need four of you to be here.
I know. But if we decide this on the 11th,
Let me time out a second. Ken, you think there's any way, the end of next week or something, you could have your numbers? If we had a special meeting to kind of...
I really apologize, but I've got something already planned for next week.
That's just my question.
And a lot of these have to be done at a regular meeting. I don't know if this is,
Yes.
but a lot of this
Okay.
budget stuff cannot be done in a
Sorry.
special meeting.
Okay. Just trying to find a loophole here to speed things up.
If y'all could pass on 1.18 for a little bit, give me a few minutes to visit with Bob and come back to you and develop a better plan for y'all.
I will, after we get through some of the appropriate action, I do have a report with elected officials, but I will go try to call our outside legal counsel and see if I can get any word on the proper part of that.
how long a break should we take?
Why don't we just move on to, skip down to the 10 o'clock item?
Yeah.
You can do that one because there's the last one that I have there, gentlemen, regarding child safety, and that must be approved or disapproved prior to September 1.
Okay.
So we must hear that one today.
1.24.
Which number is that?
1.24.
Okay, so, everybody look at your agendas. We are passing on 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. We're moving on to item 1.24, which is consider and discuss and take appropriate action regarding the optional $1.50 child safety fee and the optional $10 county road and bridge fee for 2023 vehicle registration per request from the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles, and authorize the tax assessor collector to submit the approval to the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles. Mr. Reeves.
Yes, thank you. Section 402 or 502.403 of the Transportation Code allows the county to charge a fee not to exceed $1.50 when registering a vehicle. This fee is dedicated to the Child Safety Fund. The fee must be approved prior to September 1 of each year. Becomes effective on January 1st of the following year. We began collecting this fee on January 1st, 2021, and during this current calendar year, our office has collected approximately $58,452. In your backup is documentation from the Transportation Code. This portion of the optional fees is divided according to population between the two municipalities of Kerr County as well as Kerr County, and that's by statute. Well, the second part of that, if I may, Commissioner, section 502.401 of the Transportation Code allows a county to charge a fee not to exceed $10 when registering a vehicle. This $10 is dedicated to the County Road and Bridge Fund. According to the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles, during the 2022 calendar year, Kerr County collected $581,960. To date, during the current calendar year, we have collected $389,680. This fee must also be approved prior to September 1st, and it becomes effective January 1st of the following year. At this time, I request the court to take action on either approving or disapproving both of these fees. After the action of the court is taken, I will notify the DMV with the appropriate language.
I understand there is a motion. And is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the child safety fee and the road and bridge fee for vehicle registration as presented.
Quick question. On the $1.50 child safety, what is that money used for?
It can be used for like painting crosswalks in our schools that are out in the county. Some counties use it for CASA.
So it's a dedicated, it goes into
It's a dedicated fund.
Okay.
Every Tuesday, I send the money to the treasurer, and it's placed in a dedicated fund, just like the money from the road and bridge fee is placed in a dedicated fund.
That answers it.
Okay. Do you, I don't know, if it's a question for you or Kelly, do you know if what we've used that money for so far?
Once I send the
Yeah.
money, I don't know, Commissioner.
Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Judge, if with your permission, I'll try to get the answer to that.
Please do.
You're gonna take a lunch break at some point anyway,
Well,
that'll give them a little time.
I'm gonna let them go right now. We're going through the agenda.
Yeah.
We'll take a break about noon. I brought a snack. I can't go without eating one.
I just took some aspirin, that's
Well, let's move on to item 1.25, which is time 10 o'clock items. We're a little over an hour late. This is a public hearing that I'm convening for the revision of plat of the Theodore and Dorothea Ayler Estate Subdivision, Tract 6. Charlie?
Public hearing.
Public hearing for
It's
it.
a public hearing, yeah. So is there anyone here that wants to address the court on this before we hear from the county engineer? Okay, there being none, I'll adjourn the meeting, and we'll move on to item 1.26, which is to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding a revision of plat for Theodore and Dorothea Ayler Estate Subdivision, Tract 6.
Thank you, Judge. This proposal revises Tract 6. It's 57.68 acres as platted into 4 lots. Each proposed lot will be over 10 acres with frontage on FM 479. Access and driveways must be permitted through TxDOT. TxDOT has signed the plat. County engineer requests the court consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding a revision of plat for Theodore and Dorothy Ayler Estate Subdivision, Tract 6, Volume 4, page 27, Precinct 4.
I move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion?
Yes, I have a question. Is this an old one in the old rules, or did they pay their engineering fees?
This is in the new rules.
Okay. I'd like to make sure that engineering fees have been paid. That's all.
Okay.
I'll send an email.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.27, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding a developer's request for the court to accept the cashier's check number 05019799267 from the First Citizens Bank in Raleigh, North Carolina, in the amount of $45,081 as a financial guarantee for the remaining construction associated with the Hideout Ranch, and release bond number L256051-2131 in the amount of $1,828,024.
Thank you, Judge. 2 weeks ago, we looked at this and the court approved the request to reduce that bond amount. They've come back with a check instead of a different bond, and we knew we'd be coming back with either a bond or some other form of financial guarantee. Again, the final plat for the history on this for Hideout Ranch was approved January 10th, 2022. It consists of property located in both Kerr and Gillespie County. It includes 4 newly constructed private roads. The roads have been constructed. Since most of the construction has been completed, the developer requested reducing the amount of the financial guarantee from $1.8 million to roughly $45,000, as we've read into the record. And like I mentioned, the court 2 weeks ago approved this request. To do that, the developer has submitted cashier's check number 05019799267 from First Citizens Bank in Raleigh, North Carolina, in the amount of $45,081 as a financial guarantee for the remaining construction. County engineer requests the court consider, discuss, take appropriate action regarding the developer's request for the court to accept cashier's check number 05019799267 from First Citizens Bank in Raleigh, North Carolina, in the amount of $45,081 as a financial guarantee for the remaining construction associated with the Hideout Ranch, and release bond number L256051-2131 in the amount of $1,828,024, precinct 4.
Move for approval. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Before we do that, Deb, raise your hand. Take a bow. Try, you don't have any idea how fast we're going.
If you want my agenda, Bill.
Now, hats off to our court reporter.
Question is, Judge, do they know something? You're talking about the judge's successor. I mean, hopefully they'll be done in the next 2 years.
No, that's
That's just a safety net deal.
Okay, any other discussion? Let's say this very slowly now. Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Item 1.28, consider, discuss, take appropriate action to the court to set a public hearing for 10 a.m. on October 10, 2023 for the revision of plat for Treasure Hills Ranch, track 17R, 19A, and 19B. Mr. Hastings.
Thank you, Judge. This proposal revises 3 tracts into 2. Track 17R, 8.53 acres, track 19A, 5.0 acres, and track 19B, 5.0 acres, will be revised into track 17S, 7.23 acres, and track 19R, 11.28 acres. A portion of track 17R was granted to the owners of tracks 19A and 19B sometime last year, and this proposed plat revision will complete the process of going through the revision of plat process. Both tracks will now have frontage on Treasure Hills Road and on Highway 16. The county engineer requests the court set a public hearing for 10 a.m. on October 10th, 2023 for a revision of plat for Treasure Hills Ranch, track 17A, 17B, and 18B, Volume 5, page 397, Precinct 1. I'm sorry, I think I might have read that wrong.
Yeah, I think you did.
Track 17R, 19A, and 19B, Line 5, page 397, Precinct 1. I apologize.
Second. Got a motion and a second to approve.
Question, this is just a public hearing, I'm aware, but when is Headwaters going to address this revision of plat issue? Because y'all can't sign it the way it's planned right now.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that yet at all.
Okay. There's another one because it's less than 10 acres.
I thought we were combining.
Still, one of these lots is less than 10 acres.
This is the one with 2 wells on it, so.
We've we've had those kind of discussions with the, when they got brought to us, we said, hey, one of these lots is less than 10 acres. Have you worked anything out with Headwaters? And they're working things out with Headwaters. And so we said, we'll put it on for a public hearing, but you've got to have those things worked out. So
That's my question.
So those in favor of setting this for public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.29, consider, discuss, and take action to approve a list of surplus items from the Road and Bridge Department. Ms. Mendoza.
Hi, good morning. Road and Bridge has 24 items to surplus. They will be auctioned off. The models range from 1984 to a 2014 trailer.
Move for approval.
Got a motion and a second to approve a list of surplus items from Road and Bridge. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. 1.30, consider, discuss, and take action to approve an auction agreement with Trey Garrett Realty and Auction. Auction date will be October 21, 2023. Ms. Hawkins.
Submitted for your approval is an auction agreement with Trey Garrett of Garrett Realty and Auction. This will be for an auction to be held on October 21st, 2023 at the Hill Country Youth Event Center. All vehicles, equipment, and materials that will be placed for auction have been surplus through the Commissioner's Court. The County Attorney has reviewed this agreement. At this time, I ask the Commissioner's Court for their approval of the auction agreement with Trey Garrett, Garrett Realty and Auction.
Move for approval. Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is 1.31, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve a general contract with Maxi Energy for fuel tank replacements at Road and Bridge, Spur 100 yard. Ms. Hawkins.
Submitted for approval is a general contract with Maxi Energy for replacement of the 3 fuel storage tanks at the Spur 100 yard. The County Attorney has reviewed this agreement, and at this time we ask the Commissioner's Court for their approval of the general contract with Maxi Energy and have the county judge sign the same. I just kind of wanted to give you a little background. The tanks that are there right now, I had asked one of the guys that has been there for a while. He thought that those tanks were installed probably about 1994, 1995. They say for above ground fuel storage tanks, you usually want to replace them about every 20 years. It just, one of these days, we're going to suck up some stuff from the inside of one of those tanks into those diesel motors. And so we had a little bit of money left over, and we thought we would get those tanks replaced and move forward. I know last year, I think it was, or the year before, JI Specialties asked us to do a tank integrity test before they would approve doing the insurance on the fuel tanks. So we had that done, and it was about $2,700. It passed. But my understanding from the mechanic in the shop that they've changed the specs on above ground tanks, and the ones we currently have, I mean, they're grandfathered, but they are not the style tanks that you would put in today.
Yeah, I had a lot of questions about this. I called Kelly on Friday because at a farm and ranch, I know tanks that lasted forever, and I just assumed that the filters on them was your stopgap.
Yeah, they replaced the filters on all 3 of the tanks. One's on road, one's off road, and one's gasoline. But they're still tanks. And like I said, when JI Specialty asked, that's the first time we've ever been asked to do a tank integrity test.
I wasn't aware of that part of it, and stuff that we had hoops we had to jump through.
Well, my question is, what are the new regulations on the new tanks? And how difficult is that going to be?
Actually, it's not. These meet, they meet the regulations, but some of the physical requirements for each compliant tank include secondary containment, which we already have, overfill protection, leak detection, standard and emergency vent. The venting system on the current tanks is not what they're doing today.
Right.
Liquid level gauge, clock type is preferred. We do not have any gauges on the tanks other than when you're dispensing fuel. Adequate lighting for nighttime detection of leaks in a spill kit. But the walls of the tank are different. I think it's a double or a triple wall on the new tanks as opposed to what we've got. I think it's a single or a double on these tanks.
So there's more upkeep. A lot more equipment on it. It's not just a tank sitting there.
No.
Yeah. So that's my concern. Every time you update, when you say the word grandfather, the light goes off. Yeah. So here's the question. I know you can reline a lot of tanks. I don't know if you can reline these. Have you looked at that?
I have not.
That might be the cheapest way to go. I'd explore that before we start buying into some new EPA regulation.
We have time. Yeah, I guess we could pass on this and take a look at that maybe.
See if that's, if there's anybody around here that does it, there may be a company that specializes in it.
I was gonna say, our tanks have rusted out. They do, most of these fuel tanks gain water in the very bottom, you can't get out,
Right.
and they do rust out
Right.
at some point. 94, that's is it 20 years? 29, almost 30 years. Yeah. But relining them may work, I've never tried that.
Yeah, I've had that done on, like a car tank. I don't know if they do it as big on this big tank. Or
But
if it's,
the cost of the new tanks is pretty reasonable, it's like $3,500 a piece.
Yeah.
but that's
I
just the
didn't think
beginning
that.
of the cost.
Well, and you brought up issues that I hadn't thought about.
So, see if there's I'm good with waiting and seeing if we can get them relined
Okay.
with that.
I'll ask mechanic
How
to
that,
take a look at
and if
that.
we can, how does that extend the life?
We'll pass it for this week.
Okay.
And then Jonathan wants their business card.
So I can fix up my own.
You already got a lot of
Okay, I
stuff.
think
in
that
there.
takes us to item 1.35, which is consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the quote presented by CML Security to replace the existing house card access control system with a Vicon card access control system. Sheriff.
Yeah, Judge, if you don't mind, can you call also 136 and we'll talk about them together and then we vote separate?
Item 136 will be called also, which is consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the expenditure to Guardian Security Solutions for security enhancement, operational efficiency, and public safety by completing the following 5 projects. Courthouse project number 11426, Annex project number 11414, Earl Garrett project number 11573, cameras and courthouse project number 11577, and courthouse badge printer project number 11577. Sheriff.
Good, thank you, Judge. Okay, to start with, all this was going to be in the bond, which of course we know didn't pass, so we were going to kind of completely upgrade the security system in all the county facilities. But now what we're faced with, several of them are starting to go out, so what I did is I got you all packaged. I don't want to get in a whole lot of detail because it is a security issue, but what we can start with is the CML security is basically what's in the jail. This came from when the remodeling of the jail happened. So we have that system, and then we have Guardian for the rest of the county. So my recommendation is to pass both these, and we need them. CML system is the system I spoke about, has to do with the security of making the cars to get in and out of the jail and to change the codes. Currently, for a couple weeks now, we haven't been able to do that, so obviously the judge can't, our new judge can't get in and out. We got to let her in and out. So that's one system, and then the Guardian system, which is, we got a quote. It says $68,149.08, is to kind of start here with the courthouse, replacing the brains, and then in addition to that, we can do the annex, and Earl Garrett's doing some work at Earl Garrett, and then also a badge printer for here where we can make the badges. So basically, when I'm requesting y'all's approval to be able to do this, which I don't know if it'll be paid out of contingency or this year's funds somewhere. I mean, I know I don't have them. This also will give us the ability to expand to Ingram at some point.
So this is not in your budget?
No, this is something that's went out, started going out. Actually, one of our ranks has been out for a while. This, like I said, was in the bond election now, but it's starting to go out. So, we're got some issues, security issues.
What's the grand total of both of them together?
And add 68,149, 22,294.
Around 90.
So we take this out of contingencies, is that what you're asking?
If possible, or there's some other place in the budget, contingency's all I know right now.
Contingency has a balance of about 400,000 right now. We've hit it pretty hard this year.
Gotta do it, so they make a motion to approve the contract and take the funds out of our contingency line item.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve both of these security measures, one with CML and the other with Guardian, as presented, and pay for it out of our contingency fund. That's the motion. Any discussion?
Should we do two different motions since it's two agenda items?
I think so, probably so, yes.
Okay, let me go back. Let's do item 135.
Make a motion we approve the CML security replacement system as presented.
I'll second.
Got a motion to approve the CML security system to replace the existing house card access control system with the Vicon card access control system as presented. And pay for it out of the contingency fund. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 136, this is to approve the expenditure of the Guardian Security Solutions for the various projects as presented and pay for it out of the contingency fund.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 137, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve an employee-funded supplemental offered by SWBC, Hospital Indemnity. Ms. Hernandez.
So this is a product that is going to be employee funded. It's not going to cost the county anything. And it does have benefits to it for employees. So for instance, if somebody gets hospitalized, they can turn in for a covered expense under your medical. They are able to put in a claim and receive for hospital admission, $1,000 per admission. And hospital confinement, $100 per day for the rooms. ICU admissions, it's $2,000. The list goes on, and there is a breakdown for the proposed rate for option 1. There are 2 options. Option 1 is the basic plan, and then option 2 is a buy-up plan.
Do I understand that these are insurance products
Insurance products that are driven by employees.
that are paid for by the employees?
Yes, no cost to the county.
And so what we're really doing is just doing the,
They're optional.
Make the motion.
Right, another supplemental.
Employee again.
I move for approval.
Second.
got a motion and a second to approve the employee-funded supplemental offered by SWBC, which is a hospital indemnity policy. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the approval agenda. 2.1, budget amendments.
Yes, you have in front of you 9 budget adjustments.
It's that time of year.
That time of year. The last one is just truing up the group insurances. Our projection is where they'll be by the end of the year.
I move for approval.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the budget amendments as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. 2.2, pay bills.
Yes, invoices for today's consideration, $1,245,555.90.
Move for approval.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the bills as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved. 2.3, late bills.
They're not in, oh, yes,
And
they're not.
2.4, auditor reports.
They're not in.
Thank you. 2.5, monthly reports.
Yes, for July 2023, Treasurer's Monthly Report, Tracy Sullivan, Kerr County Animal Control Services Director Reagan Gibbons, Justice of the Peace Precinct 1, Mitzi French, as amended. Precinct 4, Bill Ragsdale. Treasurer's Payroll Approval Report, Tracy Sullivan. I move for approval.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the monthly reports as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2.6, court orders.
We have the court orders from our August 14th regular meeting, numbers 40130 to 40165, and we have a court order 40166 from our Wednesday, August 16th special meeting, public being order.
Second.
Got a motion and second to approve the court orders as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Information agenda, 3.1, staff reports from department heads. Shane, I see you here.
Yes, sir. Good morning, gentlemen. This is just an update from a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about getting the youth exhibit center, the parking lot strike. We need to get some bids for that, or go on to hear some bids. There was one company that said had done a bid nearly 2 years ago, and they redid their bid $1,500 higher than it was 2 years ago. And I did have another company come out, take a look at and get a bid. They did a very detailed report of the job they was going to do, but they didn't put any dollar amounts on it, so I don't have an actual dollar amount of them to do the job at this point. So,
Did you follow up with him and ask him how much?
I did. I contacted him this morning, and he has not called me back. So he's probably out on the job and not answering phone calls right now.
Hopefully this is something we put on next agenda then.
Yes, sir.
We can look at.
Good, thank you.
And then there was one other thing about the guy, me and Commissioner Harris had talked about earlier today, this morning, was there was also a little project that the Youth Event Center was going to get done, an entranceway. And to get this entranceway done, they would have to move a power line pole and the guideline wire. So that bid to do that was from KPUG is $3,132 to move that power line pole.
And this is to do what?
We're moving the entranceway,
Road and bridge?
no, for Riverstar. Riverstar.
Oh, Riverstar.
And you have to look at it.
Next
We
to
need
the
move it
ag,
to the
next to
left.
the ag office?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and move it to where the entrance is off the pavement. Right now it's off the dirt and what have you. If y'all haven't been out there
Oh, I know
lately,
what you're talking about.
yeah. And they've always wanted a nicer entrance than what we got.
When you tell me the dirt, I know where you're
Yeah, exactly. And if y'all have noticed out there, the youth exhibit, the extension office put in a privacy fence right there, and so it just goes along. And we got rid of an old building that was in the way, so right there that was falling apart, and we had Roy Walston took it. Thank heavens, it basically hauled it off, but I don't know what he's gonna do with it. But one man's jump is another man's treasure, I guess. Anyway, so that's something else we can probably put on next agenda, but we need to be looking at that.
And it's about 3,000 how much?
3,100?
Yes, sir. The exact price was $3,132.61.
Gotcha.
Pretty reasonable for
I know.
moving powerful.
These
I'm
days.
just wondering about 10.
And one other, it also said an estimate expiration date for moving that power line pole is November 4th of 2023.
For that price.
For that price,
Yeah.
until November.
Limited time off.
Well, it's understandable.
Yeah.
That's a good
Okay,
price.
thank you, Shane. Any other department heads? Okay, moving on to 3.2, status report of elected officials. Rob?
This first of this month, myself and most of my election staff attended the annual election law seminar that was held in Austin. It's put on by the Texas Secretary of State's office, and it was a very informative meeting regarding a number of different law changes and procedures. If any of you have ever attended conferences, you know very often whatever office you're in, you'll break out into a roundtable discussion based on size of your counties. Ours was from 40,000 to 200,000. That's the break of it. And it became very evident in these roundtable discussions that Kirk County is not the only one who's having questions about hand counting possibility. What was evident was that the other counties had complete support of their commissioner's court. I'm not saying any of you gentlemen are not entitled to your opinion and how to govern from up there. But I do feel in today's society, we're going to end up in the courtroom one way or another over vote counting. Having experienced that before, it's not a fun place to be. And I would have to be the one that would get up there and not only defend the method that we're doing, but I would have to explain why the court's not in total support of it. And that would not be a fun option that I'm looking to. It would make a very bad day. Full disclosure, I sat down with Judge Kelly last week about this. Subchapter C of Chapter 31 outlines the transfer of elections duties. And the county clerk is the statutory officer to conduct elections. My job is voter registration. And I believe at the beginning of this fiscal year, it should be moved back to those two separate offices. I will keep the voter registration without 100% of the court's support. I cannot continue to do this. With that, we're in the middle of budget. While it may take some minor amendments between the two offices, I would like to stress to you and the people in the public that I receive no stipend to conduct the elections. My predecessor did not take one, nor did, I guess it was two predecessors before Ms. Dowdy, take a pay cut when it moved. We just moved and kept on going. So therefore, with the beginning of the fiscal year, my office will only conduct voter registration, which is my statutory requirement.
Sounds like we need a workshop, Judge.
Daddy, what do you think?
I'm not in a position to respond at this time.
Fair enough.
Silence is deafening.
Well,
Well,
let's begin.
statutorily, you're in charge of registration, you're saying, Bob,
Yes.
and that's all.
In the absence of an election administrator, the county tax assessor is the voter registrar.
So what will Nadine's position be?
She is my chief deputy.
She would basically be doing,
She will be my chief deputy. Prior to moving, consolidating the offices back in 08, 09, whenever I was not here at the time, there was two in voter registration, and Nadine, my chief deputy, moved from the county clerk's office. My chief deputy's position includes more than voter registration. I will need at least one of my staff and probably two to do voter registration.
You didn't get into any particulars with us, so.
Pardon me, sir?
You didn't get into too many particulars of why you chose this.
I feel I have to have the support of all of y'all and believe that as the election officer, I've researched the best methods of accounting for the votes, ensuring the security, and if I cannot have that support, then it does not do anybody any good. The voters are having, if I had to get on the stand and defend hand counting, I could not do it. But if I had to get on the stand and defend the means of our equipment, I then would have to answer to a cross-examination of why not all of my court supports what I'm doing. I've been placed in a no-win situation. Your Honor, you've cross-examined attorneys.
Yes.
And not attorneys, but witnesses, and you'd probably love to cross-examine something like this if you were on the other side.
So, I mean, if I understand, if the court, and I presume it's gonna be on the agenda pretty soon, if the court unanimously approves to not go to hand counting, we keep the status quo? Or is this changed regardless of what the court?
Unanimous approval and support, Commissioner, and all due respect, might be two different things.
Well, you're kind of getting ahead of yourself, aren't you? Nothing's happened.
I don't believe I have, because I couldn't defend it either way, Commissioner. If I got called up on one side, I don't have the support. All I'm asking is your support. You put me in this job. The voters put me in this job. I do the best I can to operate a secure election, and for the past 7 or 8 months, whether you want to say so or not, it's been called into question.
Not by I.
The equipment's been called into question,
Still,
not your integrity.
And to clarify, Bob, in our discussion, you did agree to stay on to help with this coming election.
oh, absolutely. I would never leave anybody
So this,
left blind. I wouldn't do it to anybody, especially
and
the elected
smooth
official that
transition.
we share the break room with. I wouldn't want to do that.
Make it a smooth transition and
I want it
get
smooth.
everybody up to speed.
I want it smooth as can be.
Okay. Any other elected officials? Liaison commissioners?
This kind of, just to make a little point, to underscore something that I said recently about the treasurer's office. These kinds of things happen. And so you move something from one office to another one, which is why I wanted the money to follow the position, just to underscore that. As far as what's happening now, I'd like to know the history of what we did prior to me being on the board.
Exactly. And numbers of employees as well.
Right.
Well,
I can tell you this, Bob, I don't have the full support of all my constituents, but I keep on plugging away, you know, so.
I understand what you're saying. It's my personal feelings.
I mean, Judge, yeah, I think this needs to be on our next agenda. From the standpoint of where we're going with elections.
I agree.
not doubt.
I don't think that we have a consensus, you know, with what all, we probably have 5 different opinions on how to, you know, the status quo is one, tweaking it from another completely, upsetting the apple cart with another, and so on down the line. I know what my position is, and I saw part of what was that election integrity. I like having a paper ballot and scanner. and then you save the paper ballots, ever called into question, you count. That seems like to me a happy medium.
But state law requires that, not this state law.
Well, you don't have, people can vote electronically.
Well,
You have
It
a,
disables you.
the state law is gonna change soon, and I'm looking at the county attorney. The state law is gonna change soon and require paper printout.
That's what I'm saying, so it's changed. I think it says that we need to put it on the agenda.
Yes, exactly.
There's a lot of issues associated. Arguably, the certificates aren't valid on the machines as it is. It needs
Be on the agenda, and, well, it needs to be on the agenda.
Now, what are we gonna put on the agenda?
Well, I don't know. I assumed that Mr. Paces was gonna put something on eventually. And then, I would think, well, maybe put, Mr. Reeves' concerns on there. And, Ms. Dowdy's as well, maybe.
No.
No. But anyway, that's down the road. I think the first hurdle is your agenda item.
I think we have two agenda items.
Yeah.
I'll craft one.
Don't put it on the agenda for September 25, but I would be excellent.
The 11th?
No.
No, but the 11th is our next,
Yeah,
next
that's
meeting.
okay.
So we can send it, okay.
Anything else from liaison commissioners? Okay, there being none, then we're going to recess. I'll come back in executive session. What about 5, 10
Judge,
minutes?
will you recall the items 118 through 23?
Yes.
Great.
Okay.
And if it's a 512 area code, we'll need to take that call.
Okay.
Okay. You're not recalling 1.17, right? The record vote?
On the budget, no, sir. Did y'all took action to set that,
We passed
to
it.
revisit on the 11th?
Right.
Great. So
Okay.
the next action is to.
118 is consider discuss take appropriate action to report a vote on the proposed 2023 per tax rate, per county tax rate. This would be a combined tax rate for per county and Lateral roads.
This you don't have to pass today, but if you propose a tax rate for Kerr County and lateral roads, and it has to change, it can only reduce to something lower. It can't be increased. So if something changes over the next couple of weeks, you can only reduce that tax rate instead of increasing.
We were not able to get in touch with my outside counsel. However, after discussion with the county attorney, the proposed rate, the best we can tell from local government code and the property tax code, we could propose the rate. This rate would, as
It's
the
a cap.
county, it's a cap. And
Is that what
I know, in
the
fact,
recommendation is for us to do?
I would suggest to do that. If we're not able to hear from outside counsel. If we hear and find out we can't, then we'll just have to rescind and propose it again. We will barely have enough time to get it published by this last meeting of the month, September 25th, if we do it on the 11th.
Looking forward, is everybody good with this?
Yeah, if it can only go down.
Right.
Okay, so,
we have a total rate of 43.43, but we need to, don't we have to?
Yes, sir.
Set it up or make the motion?
From this rate, if, and I believe I've concurred with Ms. Shelton, the rate would consist of .3556 per $100 for maintenance and operations, 0.0518 for interest and sinking fund, or as we refer to as debt. And the lateral road fund would be 0.0226. Now this rate is above the no new revenue rate of 0.3636 per $100 valuation. And a record vote on the proposed is required.
17.5% tax increase.
And this comes out to a total of
0.43 or 43 cents per $100 valuation.
I'll make a motion to set the tax rate at 0.43, the total rate, M&O rate at 0.3556, INS rate, the debt rate at 0.0518, and the lateral road tax at 0.0226.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to set the proposed 2023 Kirk County tax rate as stated by Commissioner Letts.
What's the current tax rate total?
The current tax rate for last year is 0.3798 per $100 valuation. Combined rate.
For last year?
Oh, I'm sorry, that was only the county, and then the total rate was 0.4051. Yes.
405.
Right.
The balance was lateral roads.
So it's a 2.5 cent increase.
Just to state it, Bob, what's the max that we could go to with the voter approval?
The voter approval rate, we could go up to 0.4874. Anything above that would require a ratification election, and it is past that time to call for the election.
I just wanted it stated so we're not getting anywhere near that thing.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Those in favor say,
That's a record vote, isn't it?
what's a record
It's a
vote?
record vote.
Yeah. Precinct 1?
It nearly sickens me, but I think it has to be done. I say yes.
Precinct 2?
It does sicken me.
What did you say?
It gets too high, so I'm going to say no.
3?
Aye, but that's what I think we need to do, so aye.
4?
Yeah, I'm proud of what we've done the last few years of not raising it, but it couldn't go on forever. I don't like it, but yes.
And I'll vote yes. The vote is 4-1. Moving on to item 1.19. Consider, discuss, take appropriate action to set the date and time to hold a public hearing for the 2023 tax rate, Kirk County and lateral roads.
Yes, sir. Based on the previous vote, a public hearing will be required prior to adopting the rate. The court will need to set the date and time to hold a public hearing for the 2023 combined tax rate.
We had that set for September 11th. Is that right? Before we adopt the tax rate?
At what time, please?
What time?
If we pass on, well, we passed on it, the adopting the budget for 9:45, so it just have to be 9:50, 10. She's got to be after 9:45.
Move for approval.
So
10 o'clock.
Or it could be 9 or 10, whatever.
the budget is set at 9:45, right? So your motion is to set it for,
9:45 as well.
oh, it needs to be after,
9:50.
at 9:50.
Thank you.
I need a second. Thank you.
Got a motion and a second to set the public hearing for September the 11th at 9:50. Set the tax rate. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Unanimous.
Who seconded that?
Jonathan. 1.20, consider discuss and take appropriate action to set the date and time for adoption of the 2023 tax rate.
Yes, sir. The previous item was to set the public hearing. At this time, I ask the court to set a time and date to adopt the tax rate for the 2023 tax year.
June the 11th.
We may adopt at the same meeting.
Make a motion, we set the date for September 11th at, you said 9:40, something?
We were 9:50.
9:55.
9:55. There's a motion to set the date and time for the adoption of the tax rate.
Give a second. I second.
So, you second? I'm sorry. We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Any against? Carries. 1.21, consider discuss and take appropriate action to take a record vote on the proposed 2023 Lake Ingram Estates Road District tax rate.
Yes, sir. This rate is only for the road district in Lake Ingram Estates. The proposed rate, which is also the voter approval rate, is .1151 per $100 valuation. And in this instance, the voter approval rate is lower than the no new revenue rate. The rate proposed of .1151 is the amount needed to service the debt.
Move to set the rate for the Lake Ingram Estates Road District at 0.1151.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to set the Lake Ingram Estates Road tax rate at .1151.
I will need a record vote, please, Judge.
Okay, precinct 1,
Yes.
precinct 2,
Yes.
precinct 3,
Yes.
precinct 4,
Yes.
and I vote yes, unanimous. 1.22, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to set the date and time to hold a public hearing for the 2023 tax rate for Lake Ingram Estates Road District.
Make a motion, we set it for 10 o'clock on September 11th.
Commissioner, since the tax rate did not exceed the no new revenue rate, a public hearing is not required unless the court desires one.
Then I will call my motion.
I don't blame you.
So do I have to take any action on 22 at all?
Right.
That is correct. Unless y'all desire to hold one.
Less is better. Item 1.23, consider, discuss, take appropriate action to set the date and time for the adoption of the 2023 tax rate for Lake Ingram Estates.
Yes, sir. At this time, we request the court to set a date and time for adopting the proposed tax rate for Lake Ingram Estates Road District.
Then I'll make a motion, set it for September 11th at 10 o'clock.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to set the tax rate for Ingram, Lake Ingram Estates road tax on September 11th at 10 a.m. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous? And I think that closes out your.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we will be in recess for 5 minutes and reconvene in the executive session to discuss attorney-client related matters. Back in session, it is 12:55, and we are adjourned.